Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with Sean Belt.
Hello.
Matt Murray.
Hey there.
No, James Farley. It's been a last minute sort of thing, this, where we have decided we are going to a 3-man show.
Oh, has he gone forever?
This week.
Yeah, it's for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just haven't told him yet.
This is how he's going to find out.
To be fair, by the sounds of it, James Farley just got, suddenly someone said to him, you've got to go and fly somewhere. And it was like, and he had to go.
Do you think
not really his fault.
He's a secret agent?
I think he might be, because he's got the sexiness of a secret agent.
Yep.
Yeah, check. Yeah, tick, tick. He's intelligent.
Yeah.
Doctor. They don't call him Dr. Farley for nothing.
Yeah.
Tick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Charismatic.
Yep.
He's really, you know what I mean? When he walks into the room, you go, that's James Farley, and he owns the gaff.
Heads
like
turn.
that.
Heads turn.
The heads do turn, don't they? It do turn. And do you remember when he played Hitman? And no matter how much trouble he got in, he just smoothly
Just sort of got away with it.
out of it. His instincts took over, Sean.
Also, in terms of kind of like
Go on.
famous drinks, I mean, we've had, like
Yeah.
Martini for Bond. Obviously, James goes in and says, just need.
Jägermeister and Red Bull, please.
Yeah, well, that, yeah.
Have you got any coffee cups for me to drink out of?
And also, I love a big can of facts, shaken, not stirred.
Dropped, not shaken.
And he's got a selection of vintage firearms in his house.
He has. Shit. It's all coming together.
From the old days in the Force.
Yeah.
And his first name is James, like James Bond.
James Bond, which,
Oh, shit.
Isn't it? Who's another spy, isn't he?
Real life spy, yeah.
Yep. He's did you see his stream last week? We shouldn't talk about him while he's not here, but we will.
But
Did
here
you,
we are.
Did you see his stream last week?
I didn't.
He's got absolutely hammered again.
Oh, no.
I'm starting to wonder, when do we have to pull him aside
Or like
and
in
go,
like
mate?
a funny way or just a worrying way?
I don't know. I didn't see the whole thing. I just turned on and he was going, I don't even know what's happening anymore. And I thought I better stop there.
I did message him beforehand saying, hey, you streaming on Friday? Because you're away. He's like, yes, but no alcohol this time.
No
Okay.
alcohol, right? Okay. Well, he fucking bought it now.
He has
hasn't
fucking bought it now. So.
We would like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers for this month. They are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Happy Birthday Sam and Neil, Gabsy Wabsy, Rocketman76, Rex Reese, Happy New Year Sam, Love from Neil, Grey Dragon Claw, Fred Fenge, Sensible Steve Garrett, Lloydy B93, Smooth Monk, and Farley's Sexy Fan. They are the Full Nels crew. What a crowd! What a crowd. If you want to join that crowd, if you want to join the Full Nels crew, then please go to patreon.com/TCGS. If you don't want to join that crew, you just want to get a cheeky little bonus podcast once a month, then there's a tier for you. Hey, like the sound of our talksovers, but don't want to wait a month and actually want to join in and watch live, then there's also another tier for that, is what I'm driving at. So get over to patreon.com/TCGS.
And we're doing one this Saturday.
Yeah.
This Saturday at 9, we're doing a monthly talks over.
What are we talking over? We decided.
We haven't decided yet. Well, I sort of, the other week, I floated the idea of doing like old, like kids, like the mad safety videos we used to watch at school.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Which in hindsight are quite inappropriate. But I don't know if it'll be like, haha, that's funny because it's inappropriate, or just like, oh, this is actually horrific, we probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, I just remember the kite. Do you remember the kite one?
Oh, I don't know.
And then obviously the kite one where he's flying a kite near a power line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I remember one
maybe
with
not,
kid,
actually.
a kid climbing up.
When do we get so arrogant that we do a talks over of like our first live show, or a talks over of our first ever podcast?
Yeah,
like that.
I was going to say
that cringe will be off the
I
charts.
wonder if we could dig up some. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's too much, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's too much. Even
I'll have to have a drink with that one. There's no way I could do that. Listen to my own voice, Stone Cold Sober. It's bad enough every week.
Maybe that's a step too far.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's too much.
Yeah, make sure you pop over to patreon.com/TCGS, and thank you if you've already done that. We really appreciate your support. Speaking of support, we've got some big news about the about the live show in Sheffield, Matt.
Oh yeah, this time last week when we were recording the show, we had only a handful of tickets left. We obviously announced that on the show, and we've sold every ticket. Can't believe it. Basically, every ticket was sold within 5 days of us announcing it. Can't really believe it.
Which is incredible, isn't it? We were like sort of texting each other just saying, because we were nervous about how well these things were going to sell, but they've absolutely flown. So we really appreciate everyone that's bought a ticket. We're really looking forward to seeing you there. We've got a lot of stuff planned already. There's still a lot of work to be done, but we're going to make it. We're going to make it a good weekend, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and for people wondering, it's sold out, but is it like 10 or 20? No, there's 100 tickets sold. It's 100 people.
100 tickets.
100 people coming.
Yeah, 100 people. That's unbelievable. It was really cool. We were texting each other, just going, because we do worry about this stuff. We it's the first time we've ever run anything like this, and we did wonder how much interest there would be. But it was great to see that sell out.
Yeah, our first live show outside of an EGX or Res.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nuts. So thanks for that. And we did have a few messages saying that they were frustrated that they missed out. We hear you, and we are currently working to try and get some more tickets released in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we need to make sure everything's going to work, and it's not going to be too overcrowded. Everyone's going to get a good few games on Laser Quest, all of that stuff. Hopefully we'll have some more tickets to release soon. So keep your eyes on our Twitter page, TCGS CO. Is that right?
Yes. How do you
not? Yeah, it's only been like 2 years or something.
I know, it's bad.
And like every email messaging and referencing it.
I'm sorry.
But safe to say, we will give you ample opportunity. It won't be like they're on sale now and then they're gone or whatever. We'll give everyone ample opportunity to know when they're going on sale. So for those who missed out on the first batch, there will be plenty of time for you to get
It's
one.
very much looking like we should be able to sell a few more. So, if you missed out, keep an eye out, and we'll let you know when they're available. Right. Is that it for all the stuff at the start?
Housekeeping's
done.
Yep.
It's weird because I thought housekeeping was meant to go at the end, but
I don't like that. Yeah, it's different, isn't it? We can't then go on to when we're going to be Twitch streaming this week. I think we're doing all right. I think what we do is fine.
Maybe we put the Twitch stuff at the start.
Interesting.
No, absolutely not. No chance. No way, Sean. Not happening. Not
just
on my watch.
It's worked in the past, so just saying.
Worked incredibly well.
I wasn't here to tell you that it wasn't working. Right, okay.
The golden age, Sean. I mean, that's what the messages were saying, weren't they, Sean?
Twitch subs
Who
were up.
said that? Did anyone actually say that?
Dave was, happy to... I don't know, he wasn't taking the Twitch money, was he, at that point?
No.
No, I wasn't.
I was going to say he was happy to reap the rewards of... Yeah.
Wasn't taking any Twitch money then.
That's mad, isn't it? Right. Do you think Dave was off for a year? Well, it was less than a year. Well, really, wasn't it? But
it was about 8
Dave
months.
Was off for a year, and they had loads of new people listen to the show and think, "Oh, this is a show.
This is quite nice.
Three people talking, and boom, Dave's back. You bunch of twats."
That's right. Made it good again, didn't I? Made it good again, Matt.
Yeah.
Listen, don't try and pretend, lads, that I don't make this show. Don't try and pretend that, we could do it without you, Dave. You couldn't. Feedback, Matt.
I mean, growth was explosive during that year, so yeah. Justin starts us off. Read Destiny 2, The Witch Queen. During the Destiny 2 expansion chat last week, I couldn't help but notice Sean constantly slate the darkness. Fuck off, mate. We've headlined Glastonbury and I've had 5 top 10 singles. What have you ever done? From Justin Hawkins, lower stuff.
Justin's got a point.
He has got a point. Well, I mean, I was never like a big fan of the darkness, but I think I've got a lot of time for him. I particularly like the the soundtrack they did for Katie's Amazing Machines or Grace's Amazing Machines, depending on which series it is. But of course, Justin wasn't on that. It's actually his brother Dan does the vocals, and to be honest, you can't really tell. Sorry, Justin.
Jesus, Justin, man,
really putting the boot in.
Have you seen Justin Hawkins has got a YouTube channel now?
No,
where he just
what's he do? Play like Fortnite?
He just like critiques like pop music and stuff, and it's just quite it's weird.
Why?
I don't know. There's nothing else on, I think. But it's quite nice. It's all right.
Okay.
I think he's doing okay.
I'll check that out. All right, good to hear you're a listener, Justin. Make sure you give us a shout out on your YouTube channel, please.
If Justin had a YouTube channel for games, it could be called The Dorkness.
That'd be good.
That kind of works.
I'd watch that.
Would it be good?
It wouldn't be good, no.
Would it be good, Sean?
Okay, it'd be really good. It'd be fantastic.
Wouldn't be good. Right,
pay money
Tony.
for it.
Good old tone.
Just to counteract any angry Gran Turismo messages you may get, I'm a fan of the series, and the GT7 chat was hilarious. Listening to people describe the vibe and quirks of the game who aren't regular players does make it seem like we have Stockholm syndrome, but GT really is about a love of cars and racing. I've bounced off a couple of the Forza Motorsport games, but they do weirdly feel different considering they're the same genre. Wanted to say also that the show's been on top form recently, especially with all the guests coming on. Definitely a highlight of my week, and that's from Tony.
Cheers, Tony. One thing that I don't get about that is that it makes it sound like there's been like 20 Gran Turismo games in the past like couple of years. But I mean, the last one was what, 6 years ago?
God, was it that long ago?
I think it was. But GT Sport, when did that come out?
I have no idea.
It's a fair while, yeah. It must be around 6-7 years.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like, to hear you, as a fan of the series, to hear you describe the vibe and quirks for something that regular players, and I thought, is this really been... It's not always been like this, has it? Gran Turismo.
No, but there will still be people who play it regularly, play it online up to now because they're waiting for the new one. That's all they like. That's all they like doing. The online stuff's cool.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that, like, even in terms of GT's history, this is still quite a fresh thing, isn't it? That all the cafe stuff and the and the weird.
It is, but it's always had a vibe. It's always had weirdness, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So the PS2 one, the one that I got, that was the feeder one, right? That was Gran Turismo, wasn't it?
Feeder were big in PS2 era, yeah.
Not a bad band.
Oh, yeah, they've got a new album out very soon. I saw a tweet. I was like, "Oh wow, okay." Feeder, that band that I liked.
I thought they just no. I was just about to say, I thought they disbanded. But no, keeping with the CBeebies theme, they appeared on Yolanda's Big Band Jam.
Of course I did.
I don't know that one.
Have you not seen it? It's great. Well, what's amazing is, I don't know if it was like, I think it basically got a second series, and they always have, so it's like a music show for kids, right? And it's like the second series, it's like she just went like, oh, I'm just going to like get all the bands that I liked when I was a teenager. And she's like,
really?
Oh yeah, and I remember like it was on in the background, and I was like, you sound like Feeder. And look round, oh my God, it is Feeder.
It sound like
Feeder. Grant, what's his name?
Grant, yeah.
We went to see Feeder at Reading Festival once, just because we had no one else to see, and we thought, all right, Feeder, all right. And they come on, they were brilliant.
Yeah.
It was such a good set, yeah.
Yeah, the first couple of albums were good, and then it went downhill, but...
Anyway, welcome to the Feeder review show.
Clarify, Gran Turismo Sport came out in 2017, so it's only been 5 years since that came out.
Still a long old time, isn't it, between things? I don't know. It's just maybe it's because I haven't played the last couple, but I did not. Yeah, this was surprising to me because I thought there would be more Feeder, Sean. But we've had a few of those. We've had a few like messages going, hearing David slate GT7, and I'm like, you didn't get past that first little bit, or you sent that message before I turned around and said I'm absolutely loving it. Because I am absolutely loving that.
Speaking of that, we've got more feedback on that. Kurt Lewin, feedback. Don't get me wrong, I know none of you are massive fans of Gran Turismo over the years, but I must admit to biting my hand when David was trying to remember the last Gran Turismo game we played, going for a few incorrect names before settling on Gran Turismo Concept, which is also a game that doesn't exist. We'll come back to that. I think he was thinking of Gran Turismo HD. If it was a demo type experience and was free on PS3 before any of the main entries came out, it was a short demo on one track in the Swiss Alps.
No, there was one with just concept cars in there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I've just checked. Yeah, Gran Turismo Concept is real. Sorry, Kurt.
Yeah, Gran Turismo HD Concept came out in 2006 on PS3, yeah.
It's a car that's come in swinging, and he's completely wrong.
I mean, the cover says Gran Turismo HD. Maybe Concept was the full name that no one actually called it by that, but it was
Gran Turismo Concept was on the PlayStation 2 in 2002.
Gran Turismo Concept. Okay, well, I am the best then, yeah? Are we all agreed with that?
Poor Kurt. Well, I'm looking forward to the feedback again, Kurt. Feedback to the feedback.
currently, yeah.
Okay, we're going to end with Steve, the car wash worker. Are these real people? On last week's show, James asked if these avatars are real people, 5932, referring to those who clean cars in GT7. Yes, James, yes, we are real. We clean your cars when they're a right mess, so it hurts when questions like this are brought up. Please show some respect.
Sorry, Steve.
Very offensive. And that's basically, that we can admit now that is the real reason why James isn't here this week.
Yeah, he's too embarrassed. He's upset.
Well, it's not him. It's like we have done a full, investigation, and while that is ongoing, we have to.
So he's not embarrassed. He's just suspended. Is that what you're saying? Now?
Yeah, we're waiting for Sue Gray to get back to us.
I'd love to do that. I'd love for Matt to legitimately try and suspend one of us. like he thinks he's actually doing it, and he sits us down.
I don't know how I'd even. I don't know. Try and ban you from the Discord. I don't know. I'll find a way.
Exactly.
If I had to, Dave, I would.
But that's the thing, though. You couldn't. You don't have the authority.
No, you just call me that. I would.
That's
and I can.
I don't think it. You're all right, Matt. You're having a brain meltdown a little bit.
No, I'm still poorly.
I can imagine Matt trying to suspend himself over some sort of, I don't know.
Oh my God,
and then sort of it gets to Tuesday night and we're like, Matt, I know you've suspended yourself, and if that's what you want, that's fine, but how do we upload the podcast?
Yeah, I'm like, Sean, there's a due process that has to happen. I can't even talk to you right now.
Yeah. I just imagine him sitting down and going, Sean, listen, we got to talk about something you said last week's show. Wasn't acceptable. We are going to have to suspend you for 2 weeks. Fuck off, Matt. No, don't say that, Sean. I'm being serious now. Like, we really... fuck off, Matt. Okay, all right.
And it'll get to, like, me being on the call and Matt repeatedly telling me I'm not allowed to be on it.
Yeah. And I'll go...
Stop talking. Everyone stop talking to him.
I'll go, Sean. 3, 2, 1, Matt. Right, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to dock you some Patreon wages. It's
that's the thing that gets sent shiver down my spine. That winds me up. That
Matt holds the coin purse.
What winds you up? You can sort that out if you want.
The phrase, Matt, I believe, is that money is acid to friendship.
That's what I've heard.
It is.
Yep. I say that on a regular basis.
Reminds me and probably a lot of the listeners where that's from.
I think all the listeners. I'm not sure if that's even ever been said.
I don't think we've ever said it on the show. I think
wasn't it like you realised you'd like written it down when you were drunk or something like that?
No. Someone said it to you, didn't they?
Oh, did they?
Did they? I can't remember, but I introduced it to the group the moment everyone started talking about Patreon. Then listen, guys, watch it, because money is acid to friendship.
Look at us now. See, it's still...
Yeah, it's true. We liked each other
still
before.
Fun. Yeah. That is it for feedback. Go to tcgs.co/deartcgs if you want to leave us feedback or ask a question or do whatever you want, you know what I mean?
Shit, who's doing the news?
Well, I mean, no one actually asked me to, but I assumed I was.
Oh, nice one, Sean.
Yeah, right. Sean.
Mate.
I mean, I won't be like as well prepared as Farley usually is, but here goes.
You spent 5 days practicing then.
You didn't do it 5 minutes before we started the show, no?
No.
Have you read more than just the headline, Sean?
I've skimmed them, yes. The full
then you're
stories.
Way more prepared already. So I think you'll be all right.
Right, so first up, the itch.io bundle for Ukraine is live. I think by the time this show goes out, you've got one more day, so like the following Thursday, to get it. I mean, there's over 1,000. I mean, some people are saying, well, I say some people, you're a gamer, are saying over 1,000 games. It's not all games. It's some of it's, sort of like game making assets and stuff, and there's a lot of like tabletop stuff, so it's just like PDFs of instructions, but there's loads of actually really good games in there. And I think
I'm not one to pull up Eurogamer on its legitimate journalism, but I'm afraid there's actually only 998 items. So embarrassing for them.
To be fair, well, it says almost 1,000 games.
God, and they want you to sub these days. After that. Fucking
outrageous. It doesn't say more than. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
That's fine.
But it's still not even 1,000 It's not even almost 1,000 games. It's
Okay, well, forget all that. What's the good stuff in there, Sean? Anything that sticks out?
Oh, why have you asked me that?
I mean, not
now?
that it matters. This is just an excuse to donate, isn't it? So
Backbone's on there.
Crosscode, Skatebird, Celeste is the main thing for me. Wonder Song's on there
as well. Yeah, I'm
Super
trying to.
Hot.
That Cloud Gardens is on there. That looked pretty good.
Yes.
That was one that you played, right, Sean?
Yeah, man. Just really nice, chill, like sort of restoring sort of knackered urban landscapes by throwing plants at them. Yeah, really nice game.
I'll be honest, I probably will not play a single thing in this, but I still bought it.
Well, this is it. It's like if you're looking for a way to give, to donate anyway, get some games while you're at it. Okay, so the very quick list I did on Twitter. So there's Tenderfoot Tactics, really good. Yeah, Crossnick Plus, Delver, Shieldmaid MX, Kids, Old Man's Journey, Windowsill, Skyrogue, Depreneur Nocturne, Towerfall, Celeste, A Short Hike, Inglets, Wondersong, Backbone, and yeah, there's probably loads more.
Skatebird was the one that you said that you hated, wasn't it, Sean?
Well, I wasn't gonna get into that, but yeah,
Why?
I didn't really like it, and this is inappropriate to mention it now, isn't it?
Why is that?
Well, because it's like, well, who cares if one game out of 1,000 isn't?
No, it's okay to say that you don't like one of the games in there, I suppose, isn't it? Sorry.
It's all right.
I didn't mean to put you in an awful situation.
It's
fine.
I mean,
what was in it.
Grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter because it's already made over 5 mil, so that's nice.
Yep. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to buy this. I didn't know that this was a thing.
Are these Steam keys or what? How would I play this?
I think they are just itch purchases. So
yeah, now that's the bad thing because we've been here before, wasn't there? There was another charity.
There's a BLM one last year.
Yeah, and that's right, and that's the worst thing about this. I played maybe about 20 games in that bundle, but finding them was a complete pain in the arse.
Yeah,
and then launching them.
You have to do some sifting. But yeah,
there's a bit of sifting to be done.
But amazing. I mean, like the fact that the original goal was 1 million, getting close to it's 5.2 at the time of recording. So no, it's amazing.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Semi-related, Nintendo have delayed the Advance Wars remake indefinitely, which, I mean, quote, in light of recent world events, I think we can probably guess. I get it. I
said this to you. We said privately, didn't we? That I totally get it why they've done this, but also there's part of me that kind of thinks, like, I don't. Would people genuinely be angry if they went ahead with the release? But then also, as Matt said, the marketing around it could be.
Yeah, I think it's all down to that. Like
the game
they wouldn't be able to realistically push it in any way with it being a game about warring factions and this kind of thing. So they could have released it, but just like stay silent on it. And I think it's better for everyone if they just hold it back and
do you
think
it's worse?
But then you've got to ask, okay, when's the time where they feel comfortable releasing it?
Well, this is it because this could be going on for a long time, and hopefully
it could be going for years. Yeah.
Do you think it's almost worse because Advance Wars is obviously like a very sanitized, cartoony version of modern warfare?
I think that softens it a little bit. I think the fact that it's got war in the title, mate, probably doesn't sound great.
Won't help,
you know what I mean?
But yeah.
Nintendo releasing a game called Advance Wars.
It doesn't look good.
No,
for them.
I mean, it's not that it doesn't look good. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it. Like, I don't look at that and think, oh, fucking hell, you're releasing that. It's more of a, I get why you would hold back, rather than like, if they went ahead with this release, I don't think I would bat an eyelid, really. But now that they're saying they're not going to release it,
I probably won't bat an eyelid, but I think it's for the best that they don't. I mean, I just think it wouldn't be a good look. It's just like, don't release it, and we'll come back when, hopefully, the situation in Ukraine.
Because I did feel a little bit weird when that Pandemic game was like everywhere. You know, the start of the pandemic.
Plague Inc.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. How,
but then that had been out for years already.
Yeah, I know, but they were very much like. I'm pretty sure they put money into marketing during that period as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Having said that, they certainly, I believe they put some of the profits from that into some sort of aid or something.
Right, okay.
I know there was some charity stuff going on around it, but it was very much like, I don't feel comfortable with them pushing this game during this time. So maybe it would be the same here.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it'll be out this year. But were you too excited about this game anyway?
It's a weird one. Like, I've always loved Advance Wars, and I'd love to play it again. But it would be one of those things that maybe if I had nothing else to play, I'd go and pick up a second-hand copy at some point. It wouldn't be a day one purchase, I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, no, I loved them at the time, but I don't know, no real need to go back, to be honest.
It's one of those games that when you hear about, you go, oh my god, yeah, Advance Wars, man. And it's like, well, here's a copy. Do you want to play it? No, not really.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I played it back then and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's bad, isn't it? But yeah, I suppose it sits in that sort of category.
And especially because, like if you're into turn-based strategy, like Advance Wars games were brilliant, but there's been so many since. It's not like there's any shortage of them, you know? So, yeah. We should just note, so, I mean, this isn't the only thing Nintendo have done. They've also suspended all payments via the Russian eShop on Switch. I mean, there's been a ton of this, too much for us to go into. There's a really good summary on gamesindustry.biz, though, of just all the steps that like games companies have been taking. So yeah, it's worth a look. There was a state of play last week, wasn't there,
Fucking
boys?
State of it.
Yeah. You can go on YouTube and see us all having a great time watching this. Loads of great games. Yeah.
Alarm bells went when they said it was 20 minutes, and it was mainly from Japanese studios. And that's not a problem from being Japanese studios. It just felt that because they were that specific about things, that was sort of a red flag of, hey, don't expect much. Do you know what I mean?
Or at least, like if you're not specifically into, Japanese-made games, it's perhaps...
Well, no, this is what I mean, Sean. If they'd have said, from our Western studios, right, I'd have thought the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you being that specific?
Yeah.
Because this sounds like you've got a few... It was as if it was just giving a little... like an elbow to the ribs going, don't get too excited about this.
Sit down, lads. Yeah.
It's not going to be that exciting.
It feels also there's two tiers of these Sony events, because there's state of plays, and sometimes they're dedicated around one game, or in this case, around publishers from a certain part of the world. But there's also the Sony showcases, and they're like, okay, this is the real big shit. So it feels like even now...
They've all got that, though, haven't they? All three of them have got their own separate things. You've got ID at Xbox plus the whatever their normal shows.
I mean, ID is like specifically indie, and then it's the non-indie one, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess it will. Well, I mean, but Sony feels like state of play is it can be anything, but also showcases is where the real big stuff happens. But Anyway, we had a 20-minute talk over on this, didn't we?
We did. I mean, it kicked off with Exo Primal, which I actually thought looked pretty good. It
looked great, but as we said, it's one of those things that's like, this is whacking, this is crazy, and this looks like it could be a lot of fun, but it just, there's part of your brain going, but when you're actually playing this, what's it going to feel like? You know what I mean?
I mean,
it feels like one of those.
Yes, I mean, it looked like Earth Defense Force, but with millions of dinosaurs. So people in like big mech suits in broken down cities, just gunning down shitloads of dinosaurs that were kind of spawning out of a big bubble in the sky. Looks like good fun. It's by Capcom.
Earth Defense Soars? That doesn't really work, does it?
Earth Defense, yeah. It's close enough.
Earth Defense Roars? It doesn't.
Yes.
None of it works.
What's
good. Going on, Matt? Are you just
trying to find
he can't switch off, Dave. He's his marketing brain. He's like,
why is this pun stuff happening all of a sudden?
Well, it's never stopped. I'm just normally I'd stop myself.
It's not usually this intense.
Yeah, but when there's like Earth Defense 4s and the same with dinosaurs in, I'm like, how can I not?
Earth Defense Claws.
Yeah, that probably works better.
Yeah. No, the Raws was better. We weren't going to top that. We should have just stopped there. I say we.
Dinosaurs.
I mean, at one point in this, I'm like, hang on, is this...
Sorry.
At one point, it's like, hang on, is this Dino Crisis? Because a woman in there had red hair, there was dinosaurs, and then it very quickly became apparent it was not.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Woman with red
tick,
hair, dinosaurs,
must be.
Tick.
Yeah. I did think that was like an intentional nod, if nothing else. Yeah,
you see dinosaurs. It's from Capcom. You see dinosaurs, and then you see a woman with like a red bob. You're like, hang on,
red hair. Yeah.
What else could it possibly be?
Dino Crisis then. And then when it comes up and says it's not Dino Crisis, you're like, what?
So yeah, I mean, looked like good fun, but it's not out till next year anyway. So Ghostwire Tokyo, new trailer for that.
That comes out this week, right?
Yeah,
It comes out the 25th next week.
So this is the new Shinji Mikami. It's Tango Gameworks, isn't it? Who did?
It is, yeah.
That's right.
The other ones I've forgotten the names of. But obviously, the DNA there is, Resident Evil, etc. So, but this is like a first-person. And I thought it was a horror game, but then from the more recent trailers, it looks very much like combat focused, right? It's like first-person, but you're doing magic spells with your fingers.
Yeah, it looks like the Darkness, actually.
It does, as in the game, not the
Justin, checking in again.
Yep.
I believe in a thing called that one. I mean, obviously that's quite a big exclusive. Obviously, it is owned by Bethesda Works, so Microsoft will probably get it at some point. But it does really nothing for me. I'm sure a certain type of game will be all over that, but for me,
I was going to say,
unless the reviews are amazing, I don't see me touching that.
Yeah, when we did the live stream, people in the chat are well up for this. I mean, it's, Shinji Mikami. It's not going to be that bad. There's a minimum level of quality always rises above. So, but yeah, not my sort of thing, I guess. I mean, and then there was just a load. So there's another trailer for Stranger of Paradise, this weird Final Fantasy game that looks like the most intentionally stupid thing ever. They announced there's a demo. Progress carries over to the full game. There was then another trailer for Forspoken, which I'm still pretty sure is not a word. I thought that this still looked really good. Anyone else asked?
It looks okay. There's nothing. It doesn't really do much for me. Some of the environments looked amazing. I think graphically it looks really strong. But I've seen nothing that really makes me jump out and want to look at it a bit more.
I mean, was there anything else that anyone particularly wanted to talk about? There wasn't. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, even when they showed that, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Cowabunga collection, I was like, oh shit, it'll have TMNT on the Game Boy Advance, which is fucking brilliant, and no, it doesn't.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I thought it had them all.
Well, that's what they said, but yeah, they didn't mention the GBA one, so I'm pretty sure that's not there.
The only thing that really looked good was something we saw before, which was Trek to Yomi.
Yes,
which are already black and white. It looks
that looked great.
Game.
Yeah, the side scroll it looked like Sifu, but maybe a little bit easier. So I'm up for that.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, and that was So that was 20 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I as I said, I think it was there for them to tick a few boxes, a few promises that they've made and deals that they've made, and fulfilling what they have promised people. That's what it felt like for me. It wasn't. There wasn't much to show, and we'll wait for later in the year. And I thought it was like too soon after releasing two massive games, right? I said two massive. Yeah, two massive games. The not Forza. Fucking hell, Horizon, Forbidden West, and then Gran Turismo. It felt like to have a state of play. It would have been weird if they just announced like some more Sony exclusive stuff. Or
but obviously, anything announced here would be some months away. I mean, people need to know what's happening next.
You want to give those games a little bit of room to breathe before everyone's just, you're showing off trailers for the next thing that you've got coming.
Yeah, I think it was just interesting as well that there was like quite a bit of Square Enix stuff, but it was all on mostly names that aren't huge. So Nintendo obviously did that direct recently where it was like half Square Enix stuff, but it was loads of remakes of very famous back catalogue stuff. Whereas this was here's a new RPG that you haven't heard of and looks kind of like a PS3 game. I don't know, it's just weird.
Yes. All right.
Reggie Fils-Aimé of ex-Nintendo fame has been talking shit about Facebook.
I love to hear this.
He's been criticising the current definition of the metaverse. He says Facebook itself is not an innovative company. They have they've either acquired interesting things like Oculus and Instagram, or they've been a fast follower of people's ideas. And I don't think their current definition will be successful.
Is he going to drop the Miiverse into this conversation?
He's like, we fucking invented it, mate.
Yeah,
big deal. Yeah, big deal.
Sure.
We're over it.
Sure, we totally did that. Did you see the Miis? They could talk to each other in very limited capacities.
It's interesting, like the whole metaverse thing. I was talking to Jesse Fuchs of Kane and Rince fame about this because we play Walkabout mini golf quite a bit, and like we're both ardent Quest users, but like the whole thing of like VR like being a thing of like pushing the metaverse is just completely alien to us. Like we we love playing mini golf or fishing or whatever and like playing VR stuff. But to us, it's just another way to play games and occasionally do so with our friends. But this whole thing of it being like the metaverse shit and like the what's it called? The venues thing where it's like, you can like watch live events and hang out with your friends. And it's like, it's shit. It's a horrible experience. So no, just let me play golf and that's it. Like there's no, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what people don't understand, like when they see this stuff, and you're right, it seems to be VR, but VR needs to be way more comfortable to use, than it currently is. And I'm not saying that it's bad to use. VR is fucking great. Like it's really good fun, and the Quest makes things a lot more accessible. And you could be in there for an hour or so, and it's not too bad. But really, if you're talking about an extension of social media within like VR, then the technology has got a long way to go before that's comfortable enough to use on a regular basis.
Yeah, totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're all big fans of VR here, and even then, it's kind of like the fault of putting the headset on and being in VR for like over an hour.
Yeah, like
it's kind of like, I don't know if I really want to commit to that tonight.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Maybe in 20 years this will sound ridiculous.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, technology is always advancing, but there's still a long way to go.
Yeah,
and honestly, it seems a bit weird that as someone who doesn't follow this stuff that much, like Facebook, this is the way it seems to me, right? Facebook put that fucking weird video out where what's his name?
Zuckerberg.
Zombie man. What's his name?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg, the guy with no life in his eyes, was walking around going, "Hey, look, now I'm on a beach, and look, and now I can talk to my friends and that, and we're calling this the metaverse, right?"
Yeah.
It seems like they put that video out, and now everyone's going, "Yes, of course, when the metaverse gets here." And I'm like, "Why are you saying that now? Because the fucking Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Why are you getting involved with that?"
Yeah, and like as a lot of people have already pointed out, like Second Life has been a thing for a long time. And
you all mocked it.
Yeah,
but now Zombie Man's talking about it. You're like, oh no, he's got a point. Actually, he's got a point. Oh, I want to get a VR headset now. Yeah, track me.
It just it just seems a curious like reason to be interested in VR to me. Like as I say, to me, it's like it's another console that like in terms of like playing games where you're just kind of hanging out with your friends and occasionally hitting a golf ball or fishing or whatever. Like obviously that sort of being able to look around and see your friends and see them sort of moving and stuff as they would in real life. There is like an element of like, it is kind of a bit more like actually being with them. But
for sure.
But it's just like a cool thing. It's not like, this is how I'm gonna operate my life.
There's Brian, my mate, and I know he's in his house with a big hat on, doing the wanker sign.
Yep.
And it's funny because I know he's doing that, like in his little house and that. That's good, isn't it? The metaverse.
Yep. Big time.
That's what the advert should have been. You get to see Brian do the wanker sign. Get a Quest today.
And it's not a pre-made animation. It's real time.
It's real time wanker sign.
Real time calling you a wanker.
It is funny though. We have had to, like, especially the poker stuff when you're seeing people just get angry at each other and like genuinely like strangers sitting down at a table and having a chat and getting on with some of them, but some of them like being dicks. And I've had some good nights on that. I just
a lot of kids playing poker in VR. I've noticed.
Right.
Bit weird.
You've got to tell them off.
Bit weird on a number of levels.
Bit wrong, innit?
Yeah.
We used to tell them off.
Did you?
In our table. Yep. My mate Jay used to go, listen, we'll let you let you sit there, but if you just calm it down a little bit, all right? He used to take him on and say, look, just calm it down, stop shouting.
Well,
they're upsetting everyone.
They're also fucking gobby, aren't they? And not even like not even literally just in terms of like being loud. They're just like they're so cocky and like
cool.
Like literally,
they're so cool.
Yeah,
they'll
literally they'll win a hand and they'll just be like, guys, I'm fucking 12. What's your excuse?
Yeah, what's up with you guys?
And I've got no answer for him, Dave. I've got no answer for it.
You look at them and you go, how do you do it? And they say it's natural, and then, excuse me, I've just got to go and kiss your mum. And I'm like, fucking, you're the coolest person I've ever met, and you're half my age. How has this happened? How have we got here? And it turns out that they're all part of the metaverse.
Yeah,
they all got on board early.
Yeah, they did.
And now they're at a higher level than us. Sean.
Yeah. This is how we're gonna feel old. Is we're just gonna get rinsed at poker by teenagers. That's our retirement, Dave.
Oh God, we're gonna have like the proper basic Avatar clothes, and they're gonna turn up in like a bowler hat. They're gonna be dressed like fucking Peaky Blinders. We're gonna be sitting there in a grey t-shirt that says poker on it and blue jeans, and the basic ass heads to like haircut. All three of us looking exactly the same.
And all our usernames will just be like player 854976.
guest 14.
Yeah, or they all have like artwork, NFT artwork in their walls, and we'll just have little like brown like frames that say add artwork here.
That's where you're wrong. We'll be the one with NFT artwork. They're the cool ones, remember?
Oh, yeah.
We're the losers. Yeah. We are the losers, Matt.
So let's do the next news story.
Yeah, let's move on.
It's not much of a story, just a heads up. So there's going to be a Microsoft ID at Xbox showcase.
I spoiled that earlier,
is
didn't I?
on
Sorry about that.
the 16th. So if you're listening to this on the day it's been released, then it's at 6 p.m. today. If you're listening to this later, then you fucking missed it.
So this is just their indie stuff, right?
Yes.
Well, what's good about these is that 9 times out of 10, when they announce or showcase an indie game, it's coming to Game Pass day one, right?
Well, don't get me started, because so this is on. So Tunic comes out same day, which is a game that a lot of people are excited about. And I was convinced that they'd announced that it was a Game Pass game, but no, it's Bell's bullshit arena again. They've like specifically clarified like a couple of months back that it is not a Game Pass game, which big deal. Like it won't cost an arm and a leg, and it looks really good. But it's just an interesting one that again it sort of fell into this category of people just assumed. Well, I did that it was going to be on Game Pass.
I think most people assume these days.
Yeah.
What was the other? What was the last Bell's bullshit arena?
It was the Halo campain being split into episodes.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one.
Fabrication. But, yeah.
When do you start being described as a cheeky newsman, Sean Bell? He's cheeky. Sometimes he makes shit up.
2 truths and a lie, guys. Keep up.
So the good thing about these is that the idea Xbox showcases are short, they're well paced.
Yeah,
they're basically much more like a Nintendo Direct, whereas the standard 4-hour long Xbox. What are they even called? Xbox what?
I don't know. Why the fuck aren't they changing that?
That's the thing. Like, I mean, they need to go in and just fundamentally change everything they're doing when they make Xbox shows. Like we get excited when there's a Direct, even though sometimes we have preconceived ideas about how much we may or may not see. We get excited about state of plays, even if there is a blog post that says don't get excited about this. But there's still an opportunity to get excited. Whereas Xbox events, I don't think I've ever watched one because they always last too long. They're never like...
Yeah, you have. Do you remember the Halo one when they showed off Halo and we all laughed at it for about an hour?
Oh, yes, of course. But generally, they're way too big. They're not exciting. They're not like a good cadence. They need to go back to the drawing board and totally change how they're doing. Just copy State of Play, copy Nintendo Direct, just do what they're doing, but with Xbox stuff. That's all we need to do.
Agree. Well, not even that. I don't even think they need to copy it. It doesn't need to be a trailer sort of thing like those ones.
It'd be better than they have done up to now.
It would be, yes, but I don't think that they need to copy it wholesale. I think they could still incorporate some of the... because obviously... what's his face is the popular thing. Fucking hell.
What?
What was that? Phil Spencer is
popular
like,
face is the popular thing. What did you just say?
I said, popular face is the thing there for Xbox, isn't it? Like,
just quickly, Dave, do we want to address how much sleep you've had last night? Just so people know.
I've been up since 2:30 a.m.
There you go.
This morning, which is clubbing. Charlie was just like, "No, I'm up now. See you later."
Yeah.
Joe,
see you later. Brilliant. I'll see you later. I'll go to bed.
Yeah. Joe tried for ages to get him back to sleep. Anyway, it's not important. Anyway, I'm not with it. So Phil Spencer can still be involved in these things. I'm saying Matt was my original point.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
Got there in the end.
Good.
Yeah, the day they announce a revamped main Xbox show would be very good.
Good. All right.
Sticking with Microsoft, they are asking you to switch your Xbox into energy saver mode. 2 reasons. Because initially I was like, well, yeah, I guess they're saying that because the planet's dying, right? Which it is. And obviously, cost of energy is going up. Like over the last few weeks, like I've known quite a few people being like, I've just had this estimate for my energy bill for next year. This can't be right, can it? And I'm like, yeah, it is. Sorry.
Yeah, mine was $4,000 a year though.
Yeah,
I thought that was definitely wrong.
I think ours is looking similar.
Really,
yeah.
$4,000? No, that can't be right. No. I think maybe it is.
I think, maybe it just is.
We're gonna have no money, are we?
Well, it's all right, Dave, because we can turn our Xboxes into energy saving mode, and that's going to just sort everything right out.
Did you know? Did I tell you this? I saw an article. I think it was on the BBC website. It was like, here are things you can do to keep your energy bill down, right? And one of them, it says, if you've got an Xbox, then make sure you turn it off with a plug rather than just leaving it on. That will save you. And it was like £11 a year. And I thought, I'd rather pay the £11 a year so that I don't have to do that. To be honest with you, £11 a year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It
Fucking
all adds
keep
up,
it running.
David. It all adds up.
£11 a year, though, Matt. I'm not paying
do that 100 years. Profit, innit?
Yes, there is profit on that.
I mean, actually, my Xbox has been energy saving mode for months. I mean, there's nothing to play on it.
What is energy
so this is the
saving
thing.
mode?
So basically, so the Xbox's energy saving mode has actually changed significantly, and no one really noticed. So my experience, because I tried it ages ago, there's that basically energy saving mode. When you turn it off, it turns off 100%. Like doesn't do anything, takes ages to boot back up, etc. Whereas always on mode means you've always got your updates and your games and console updates. Like I've never seen my Series S update the firmware, right? It's just always happened. But no, they actually changed the energy saving mode so that it does still download your updates and install them for you while it's in energy saving mode, but the instant on mode uses 20 times more power than the energy saving mode.
What is this? So the instant on and energy are the same. So what do them instant on must do something? I was going to say,
I think instant on includes in the name. I think so in energy saving mode, although it does still download stuff. I think when you first turn it on, you'll have the full splash screen and everything, and you wait in sort of 10-20 seconds for it to boot up properly.
I'm fine with that.
I can live with that. Kill the planet a bit less.
As long as it installs the fucking updates as well. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
Otherwise, the planet can fuck right off. Because I ain't sitting there waiting.
Well, I was saying a moment ago, my Xbox has been in energy saving mode this year because there's nothing on it. I mean, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Forbidden West, GT7. I mean, I haven't turned my Xbox on in ages.
I haven't since Horizon come out, I haven't really. Oh no, that's a lie. I've been playing Rocket League again. The new season started, so I bought the Rocket Pass, which was stupid because I've got no time to play.
Well, I played Horizon, GT7. I'm playing Elden Ring on PlayStation as well. There's maybe something before that. Sifu before that. I mean, God, it's just in all PlayStation this year.
Yeah, there's been some good stuff on that.
Super Nintendo World. There's going to be one in America.
There is.
In Universal Studios Hollywood. I mean, it's another year off yet.
Is it getting close? I don't know.
But yeah. I mean, that's kind of all we know. I think apparently it's going to be like a different layout. It's not going to just be like the same as the
different
Japan
map.
one.
I thought they'd just copy. I thought they'd just copy and paste it.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But apparently not.
Can we get one in Europe now, please?
Yeah.
I mean, you imagine there will be one in Europe at some point.
I don't know, will it though?
Please, in the UK though. Please.
I think that'll do it.
Please, Nintendo. Just really close. Surrey. Just put one in Surrey.
Where
There's
do you think,
plenty of room
they
around
would put
here.
it in the UK if they did one?
Obviously down south.
It would be down south.
Alton Towers, guys, come on.
What about?
Well, you're saying knock down Alton Towers, bring that instead?
Yes.
They'll want people to get on the Eurostar or whatever, wouldn't they? Come over from Europe.
Yeah, that's true.
They wouldn't do it in the UK. It'd be stupid to do it in the UK. They'd put it somewhere in Europe.
What if they could just instead of
flattening, put it in France?
Instead of dismantling Alton Towers for it, what if you could just pick a town to just be absolutely flattened, bulldozed, and they just put Nintendo?
Croydon.
Yeah, Croydon.
Bognor Regis.
Bogner. What was it? This sounds bad. This does sound bad. All right. But
I would love to bomb the following town in Britain.
No. If they did like open this in France, I'd be a little bit disappointed because I wouldn't want to like take Harry, get all excited, and then like Mario's running around speaking French.
I don't think
you know what I mean?
No, that's not. But Euro Disney. I'm sure that's not the case.
Yeah, that's
in
what I'm
Disney.
saying. Euro Disney. Yeah, when I went to Euro Disney as a kid, I was like, I don't understand one thing these people are saying. I know the characters, but I don't know what they're saying. I was kidding.
I thought it was like a requirement they all had to be like, everyone has to speak like 4 languages and stuff.
Yeah, but like it's...
Do you reckon they do that? Oi, English.
do you reckon they did that? They don't do that in the American one, do they? They all just speak American, don't they? Or American, English, or whatever the language is over there.
Yeah, I imagine if there is one, it'll be France. Obviously Disney did their research and they said France is the best place for European Disneyland, Disney World.
Yeah, for sure.
No, this is amazing. Obviously, I'd love to go. US is probably a little bit more tangible or a little bit more possible than Japan, but
yeah,
this is a
fair. Why is that? Is it more
off.
expensive to get to Japan then?
I think so. Yeah,
I was thinking more the language barrier.
And
obviously, it'd be easier to go to US in that regard.
And it's shorter flight, right? I'm pretty sure you can't get to Japan in one go, isn't there? There's always a stopover somewhere, and then you carry on. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking shit.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I would. I'd love to go. I want to go to this thing definitely. Yeah. I just, the way things are going at the moment, I'm spending all my money on fucking
gas
heating.
Yeah.
This opens in 2025, so we've got 3 years.
Apparently,
why does it say 2023 on the article?
The article says 2023.
Oh, sorry. It says there's a second one that's opening in 2025. Man, they've got 2 of them.
Right, so 2025 is the Orlando one, right? I see, yeah.
What? They're opening 2 in America? That's not fair.
It's fucking rude, isn't it?
Fucking hell, Nintendo.
Yeah, ridiculous.
What are you doing?
If anyone's curious, I would flatten Widnes for Nintendo World.
Okay.
That's it for the news.
All right, let's get to what you've been playing then, and we will start with Matthew Murray, who's only got 1 game written down.
Uh-oh.
Yes, it's just been Elden Ring this week. I've finally...
Shit. Sorry, we've all been playing it. Sean, you've been playing Elden Ring, have you?
I have.
Okay, right. Okay. Matt, away you go.
Yeah, so I finally, last week, got into playing Elden Ring. I've obviously had it since launch, played other games, and those games are now finished, and I finally got into it. I'm searching for spider. No, Siri, not now.
What games have you finished?
Well, I did Horizon, and then
You finished that?
Yes, I finished it weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, when I talked about it on the pod, I'd finished it.
Oh, right, okay.
And then I thought
it was James that finished it. Oh, no, yeah. Okay, yeah, right, so go on.
So I've put in, I think, 15 hours or so, and I've barely done a thing, and I'm really enjoying it.
It's great, isn't it? So what have you done? How far, like, what have you done? Have you taken down Margit?
No, I didn't know where that thing is. So no, I haven't been.
Tell us some stuff that you've seen, because I'm interested to see what you've come across.
I've been all over the place, but I've only really.
I've been all over the place. That's like God.
Like I am. Sorry, I found this this warp. This something that teleported me to like the far side of the map, like the northeast of the map.
What?
So I've been there.
There was a What?
Yeah.
It's not a teleport. It's like this thing at the back of one of the churches. There's this like kind of circular thing that warps you to this part of the map I've never been to. I mean, I find this game quite scary.
Oh, hang on.
Anyway,
for me, that was a chest that I opened, and that transported.
yeah, I believe that is a case.
Also,
I haven't.
yeah. Okay.
That hasn't happened to me during opening a chest yet. Although I'm
Okay.
scared every time I do open a chest.
Yeah.
But no, there's like this thing
you
at the
could
back
just
of one of
walk
the churches.
into like what? And is it like clearly a high level area or something?
Yeah, I mean, it looks big and
Okay.
scary, and there's
Right,
things
okay.
over there. Yeah,
Fucking horrible.
so
Can you walk back, or is it you just die?
I don't know. You can walk back like you can walk back to any like.
Okay, so
yeah.
so the one I did warped me like inside a dungeon basically, and I had to like run out before I could teleport back to.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had that yet, thankfully. I find this game quite scary. I'm like quite scared to go to new places and like and experiment.
I'm less scared playing this than I am other Souls games, for sure. Because I feel like I can just run away if I need to. Like, running away has never been easier. Like, the risk of dying has never been... Like, the risk of dying is practically non-existent.
Yeah, I
in this
do
compared
like
to
the
other
fact
ones.
that you can literally just like run into an area, grab an item, and then get killed. And it doesn't matter because you've only lost some runes. You keep all the items you grab. I think that's great. And
Which
I've
has
been doing
always
a lot
been
of
the
that.
case. Which has always been the case, but it felt like in a normal Souls game where things were a little bit more linear, you would push forward, and if you died, you had to do all of that stuff again. And it feels like you're doing less of that in this. It feels like, okay, I've died, I'm back at the bonfire, or the equivalent of the bonfire, but this time I'm going to go in that direction. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
I'm actively deciding.
Yeah, because with Dark Souls, if you died, between bonfires, like if you say you'd rested at one and then you push into the next one and then you die, there's rarely like any other way to go, right? It's like, well, that's the way forward in the stories. That's just the way I've got to go. Whereas this is like, because it's, there is like a big critical path for you to follow, but then you're deviating from that all the time. So you might disappear into a dungeon. And then, once you get to the end of that dungeon, you just back again on the main path. Like it's not, you're not always pushing forward. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
And I'm in a part of the game now where it is very much like a Souls game, right? Where there is definitely a route that I'm supposed to be taking, and there's not much deviating from that and that current route. It feels like I'm aiming to get to another bonfire, right?
Right, yeah.
Which is something that you're really familiar with when playing Souls games, and I'm getting further and further, and then dying to something new, and then having to go through all of that again. However, it feels less claustrophobic because if I want, I can literally just walk back out to the open world bit, go and fuck about for a little bit longer again, and then walk back to that bonfire. And I'm sure, I know some of these games have had warping from the start, right?
As in teleporting between bonfires.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 2.
Yeah, there's also Homeward Bone.
Yeah, but Homeward Bone's something different. Like I'm talking like number 3. I'm pretty sure Dark Souls 3 that you could just walk from bonfire to bonfire.
Yeah, I believe so.
But this kind of feels different. Like it kind of feels like you're not just warping to an earlier part of the game. You're warping back to the open world bit and having a bit of a dick about just to take your mind off of it and try something else, and then warping back into that sort of linear part of the game. It's nuts. It's really weird how different this feels to other Souls games I've played. Like I thought I was done with these things, but it really does make a difference just having that option to go and just see all this weird shit that's in the world, right?
Right, and there's so much weird shit. Actually, quite overwhelming for me. You see a bunch of people out in the world, and they might say, "Hey, can you do this thing?" And that's it. But the game is not pushing you towards the main quest, and I'm loving that. Right now, I'm being like the most reluctant hero ever. I've always wondered, like things like Lord of the Rings or in other things like that, there's always like the film or book or game, whatever, is always following the main cast of characters, and they seem like the whole world is basically around these few hobbits, let's say Lord of the Rings wise. But I've always wondered about the people just around them who are like, they're not part of the main story, and I'm basically that. Like, there is a main story, no doubt, but I'm just exploring the world. I'm not pushing forward in the story. I'm not killing loads of bosses. I'm just exploring. I'm meeting someone, and when I meet someone, they're not like, "Hey, can you go and do the main story?" They're like, "Hey, can you deliver this letter to my dad somewhere? Or can you collect this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I might do that. Yeah, I'll go around." But I love the fact it's not pushing me towards the main story or main quest at all. I'm just having a lovely time.
I think
exploring the world.
There is something that's pushing you towards the main story, right? I mean, you go to any What are they called? We
Just
can't keep
call
calling
them
bonfires.
bonfires. Doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. Okay, you go to a bonfire and there's like a massive light pointing you in the direction.
Yeah,
that
I
you're
love the
supposed to be
fact it's
going.
pushing you towards the literal golden path. I mean, that's obviously a term we've used in the past, but for it to literally be a golden path towards the next area, I think that's a great touch. Because if I am stuck,
I kind of think that they shouldn't have that. It's because when I first started playing it, I thought, because this is what I said last week. So I got to that first sort of like little area full of enemies, right, where they've got all those little knights in that sort of that ruin of a town, and then you go up to this big gate, and for those of you that have played it, there's a big giant. You get past them, and then that leads you to the first real proper boss, right? And when I was doing it, I was like, I'm really struggling just getting past this giant at the moment. Like, but it's the way I've got to go because it's what I'm playing. And then it wasn't until John was like, "Oh no, don't go up there yet. Just stick about in the area. You'll find little caves and stuff, little mini bosses that you can go and take down." And once I started doing that, I was like, "Oh no, it's a shame that the game sort of made it look like you're supposed to go this way." If it dropped that completely, I suppose you could get lost, right?
That's one of the ways it's trying to make it easier for new players to be a bit more signposted. I mean, I first time, like, where the hell do I go? Like, it feels like the whole map is open instantly, but the fact there was that golden thing on the map, but it's trying to push me in the right direction. I was like, okay, that's good. That's handy.
First time players are going to get their fucking asses kicked if they go straight and follow that sort of main path.
Well, yeah, because it intentionally, that main path immediately directs you towards that boss on horseback, doesn't it? Who's just roaming about, and that's.
Oh, yeah, I got absolutely destroyed by him.
Yeah, like that's the game trying to tell you, okay, this is telling you like generally which direction to head in, but you don't have to literally follow, like directly.
That's right. When you open the doors, isn't it? Yeah. The moment you get out into the main road, there's that dude there, and he's I still can't beat him. Have you done it yet?
No, I haven't. No.
Which, like I said, you're not supposed to be able to. Probably for quite a while. That's the point it's making. Is it's like, look sideways, go around. Like the world's quite big. But then equally, as you say, it's like first-time players might be like, well, I've heard these games are hard, so maybe this is just
maybe this is it.
Yeah, so it's the way.
Yeah, it's a weird balance.
Yeah, and not to get onto the whole discourse again, but the way these games communicate or try and communicate things, I think it's fair to say it's a little bit flawed at times, but I am having a really good time with this. I think
personally, I think the game could be better if everyone didn't speak in riddles.
Yes.
Like, what I loved about the Dark Souls games that I've played and Bloodborne and stuff is not understanding what's going on and then reading up later online and going, wow, there's this massive world here and it's all logical and it all works, right? And this is incredible. But I'm a little bit tired of that now, and I just think, actually, would the game be improved if people had legitimate things to say to you that if they could tell you this amazing narrative while you're playing it in a better way than they do. Do you know what I mean?
I had heard that this is a bit more straightforward in terms of narrative.
I don't think it is, man. I've been talking to people and they're like, flippity boop, whoopity boo. If you go down there, then goobity boop doo.
Yeah. Some of them are like,
all I'm hearing.
One of them, like, my dad's in that castle, go to the castle. Some are obvious, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, others are, the flame of the glime is if you take that and then you trick and then woo over there. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. Right, that's what's going on in my head.
But in terms of what I've done, I've mostly been doing like the catacombs and like the caves. So going in there and basically going through those caves, the catacombs, killing the boss.
Have you done the little cat statue thing?
The cat statue thing.
Oh,
He's in the catacombs.
I've done a dog statue thing. Are we talking about the same one?
Oh, yeah, it's called a guard dog.
But it looks a bit like a cat. I know what you mean.
Right?
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah. I've done a bunch in like in the first main area, and I've kind of gone to the second area. I can't remember what it's called. But
I don't even think there's second areas. That's the thing. It's nuts.
Yeah,
I think like the one south of the starting area, basically.
Okay,
like the new island there.
Yeah.
Have you found the bear yet?
I've seen bears. I've been destroyed by a bear. Yep.
That scared the shit out of me when that happened to me. Just jumped on my fucking head out of nowhere. So proper scared the shit out of me. How far into it are you, Sean?
Literally, so I only started playing it like today, so like 3.5 hours, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I should briefly acknowledge, I don't know, they probably don't want their name read out or anything. A listener gifted it to me for
another
R reasons. And yeah, I was really kind of them. So yeah, I was playing a bit of it, and I was like, yeah, do you know what? This is good. Like, which, you know, I knew it would be. As I say, same as Dave, I had been feeling a bit burnt out on Souls things. There is still like a bit of disappointment that, like, you know, the big new FromSoft game is very much in the same mold. Like, although it does do a lot of new things, there's still a lot of things about it that feel intensely familiar. As I say, you know, we're still talking about bonfires. It's like, what, souls are runes now? Like, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, and then, like, it must have been about 2 hours in, I fought a guy on horseback, and I fucking walloped him off his horse and did the fucking ground finisher on him, and I was like, shit, this is brilliant. Like, because it was like, obviously, you know, we've all played Souls games and Bloodborne and stuff, but like, and you know, and as I've said before, I've finished, you know, Dark Souls 1 to 3, and I finished Bloodborne, and you know, I consider myself to be proficient at these games, and yet any of my successes they're never like stylish, right? It's always me like back to the wall, like panicking and sort of eventually getting through. Whereas this feels like it has moments where I'm just like that was cool. Like, I did something cool. Like, that felt good.
Yeah.
Like, I felt control over the situation rather than just constantly, like, you know, just fending people off. So yeah, that's been really nice.
Have you fucked with the spirit stuff yet?
No, I haven't. I've got a few of them.
I've
got the jellyfish. Apparently, I gather that's the favourite.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Is it really the jellyfish?
Yeah, everyone loves the jellyfish.
I've had the wolves, man.
Nice.
Just setting the wolves on people is just brilliant.
Yeah, jellyfish kind of distracts the enemy or boss, so you can, their aggro is based on it can focus on jellyfish while you go and try and wreck shot.
Yeah, but the same with the wolves.
Okay.
They start biting away at the boss's feet, and you're like, "Yep, thank you very much. See you later." I just don't know whether to level them up or wait for later ones. That's the problem at the moment. Well, I'm sure
the whole
cater for that
leveling
shit.
up thing in general has kind of made me. It kind of confused. I get it.
Yeah, read a guide because honestly, some of the stuff.
Because I'm like, how does anyone work this game out without a guide? I mean, also, like, I go this thing at night, then in daytime talk to that person, then back to night. That how does anyone work this out? And it's kind of overwhelming. It kind of made me think, have I got to play this whole game with a guide? I've enjoyed what I've done because I haven't really focused on bosses. I haven't really focused on progressing through the story. Mm-hmm. I've collected a bunch of things. I haven't really upgraded a lot of the things I've collected because I'm like, is this the right thing to upgrade? Is it not? Like, do I stick with this? Do I not? And even like classes, like I started with Confessor. Mm-hmm. I couldn't really tell you what class or what build I'm really going for because I haven't really got a weapon that I really love nor a playstyle that I really love. So I've upgraded loads of stuff. As in, like, leveled up my various kind of attributes. But I'm not really focusing on one particular build, so am I going to be an absolute disaster? I mean, I'm 20 hours in, I think I'm level 30-something, because I heard about this thing you can kill and you get loads and loads of runes. But again, I was just kind of throwing them into a bunch of things, so I'm not really working towards a build type.
I mean, there's usually there will come a point where you can respec, right? I think that's...
Yeah, and I believe there is a thing in this, but if I could respec today, I wouldn't even know what I could respec towards.
Fair enough.
I'm enjoying it because I'm like throwing loads of stuff into various attributes, finding a new weapon, enjoying that, move on. The sense of kind of discovery and stuff, I mean, all the comparisons about Breath of the Wild, I think, are totally correct. Like, it feels like there's adventure or discovery of something weird or scary around every corner. I'm absolutely loving that. I mean, I went into a place the other day where suddenly I was going on a lift down like 1,000,000 miles underground, and I was still on the lift, and I was like, I've got to get out of this place immediately. I'm scared just being down here. It was beautiful. The location was absolutely beautiful, and I'm sure cool. People who play the game will know what I'm talking about. But I'm like, no, this is way too much. I feel way too claustrophobic under this massive underground world, seemingly. But I'm still absolutely loving the game, even though I haven't progressed. I mean, I should probably go towards where Margit is and try and focus on that. Is Margit the first main boss, would you say?
Yeah. Seems to be the case, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still doing like catacombs and caves and exploring and...
Yeah, I need to do more cave stuff. Right, it's really annoying, actually, because behind where you know when you first spawn into the world, right?
Yeah.
When you first get into the world, if you turn directly behind that, there's a beach, right? There's an island with a clear cave there, and loads of signs saying you can cross here, but there doesn't seem to be anywhere to cross. Have any of you been there?
No,
yet?
I haven't.
I've been on the beach. I don't know if it's that. No, I have been on the beach. I've been on a cave nearby, but it's on the mainland.
Okay.
Yeah, is that just the one with the little guy in there?
It's
sort of butcher's knife.
Yes, really annoying.
Yeah, I've done him. Yeah,
really fast, really annoying. Yeah.
And then I found what is it? That statue that's just like laying on the floor and it just gets up. You seen that
the
one
thing
yet?
with like balls, them things.
Beg your pardon.
You heard.
It's so hard to explain, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
without ruining it. Yeah,
there's so much weird shit in it that it could be any of these things.
It's weird, isn't it? Because in one sense, as you say, that sort of constant sense of discovery is really good. I do wonder if it's lost something a bit from the previous games where it was like you can name any boss in Dark Souls and I'll be like, yep, remember them. Remember the moveset, I remember exactly fighting them, I remember how I beat them. Like that, they were all sort of pretty iconic. Whereas with this, I already couldn't, friend messaged me earlier, it's like, oh, right, I've just done the first boss. And I'm like, which one? Because there's you fight a number of enemies, before you get to Big March, there's a ton of other, harder enemies you might fight and think, is this a boss? I think this is a boss. But it's... Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of...
I know exactly what you mean. I think I prefer it this way.
Yeah, no, I think it gains as much as it loses. It's just interesting, the sort of shift.
Yeah, no, I thought that is true because you don't feel like you're playing a lot. Like, I'm playing alongside John, yourself, Matt, James. Yeah, I don't know where any of us are in the game. Because there's not that sort of, as you say, that progression that you can sort of compare against each other. But at the same time, I think if that's the cost to make the adventure feel like more my own, then all good. The fact is that I can still wander about the place and just go, what the fuck? Why is that big pot going? Can you get me out, please? Do you know what I mean? But why is that happening now?
Yeah.
Why have they just given me that thing? I don't know, man.
Earlier, I saw this massive dude on horseback. I've got to hide in the bushes, and I hear someone saying, "Hello, can you see me? Why can't you see me?" I'm like, "What the hell?" And eventually, I found someone in the bushes. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, this game is amazing for that. Like, there's something around every corner." But I have had to look at guides, and I'm like, I guess this is a game where you can look at guides, and that's kind of part of it.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
There's no shame in that at all, I don't think.
Certainly for things like leveling up. I mean, because as you say, leveling up your spirits in this, I had to look it up because it was ridiculous.
How do I do that?
So, okay, right, I'll explain. If you don't want to know, then stop listening for a second. But why you wouldn't want to know, I don't know. I had to look it up. You go and speak to the blacksmith in the place around the table. What they call it, the round hall.
The
hub
I got there this evening. Yeah,
right. So you go and speak to him, but you don't you talk to him about a specific subject, and then you go to one of the other characters and talk to them about a specific subject. Oh. Then you go back to the blacksmith, talk to them again, then sort of respawn back into that area, and the female NPC has now moved into another part, and she's the person you go to upgrade your spirits. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I'd never have worked that out. But yeah, it was only because I didn't know what everyone was doing in that place, so I started looking up what those characters do in that area. That it sort of said, oh yeah, you need to do this, this, and this. And then you can upgrade your spirits and that. And I was like, okay, right, fine. It's that stuff could be better. I'm sorry, it could be.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
There's some people that fundamentally see that as part of the mystique around the game, and I get that.
I think that is part of it.
Yeah, but I also think that the game would be actually improved by being a little bit clearer with certain things. I do. It's that sort of stuff is not removing the exciting the excitement around discovery in this game.
And you
right, that's
sort
not
of
taking anything away from that stuff.
You running back and forth and talking to those people, like that wasn't like a fun puzzle to solve, right?
No.
That was just, like if you're lucky enough to sort of do it by accident, I don't know, it doesn't seem like something that you would do on purpose and think, oh yeah, this will be how I unlock this new vendor or whatever. Yeah, it just seems a bit like stabbing in the dark.
I'm kind of with you because I'm like, how would anyone have worked it out? But also, I like that because so many games, and we've all seen all the memes of this is what it would look like if this game was made by Ubisoft, and it was like, hey, go here to do this, and I don't want that. I way prefer it this way, where it's all just so mysterious. I can try and do a few things and see if it unlocks anything, but really, I will. I guess I'll look at a guide. But yeah, I mean, I love that mystique about the world.
I know what you mean, but like I like games that don't spoon feed you stuff if like you're free, like if there's freedom in how you do things, which in a lot of Elden Ring there is. But I think in sort of examples like this, it's like, oh no, there's just this very specific set of things you have to do in a certain order, and it's like that's not fun to figure out.
The way I see it is like, I like that stuff. But I like that stuff in the 3 or 4 FromSoft games that I've played. And now it's not exciting anymore, and it doesn't feel wildly different anymore. It just feels being obtuse for being obtuse sake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
It's kind of lost that magic of being this really cool, hey, how did you do this? Well, you do this, and then you do this. Oh, cool. Like, it's gone now, like, you just go to GameFAQs and go, okay, that's what I need to do that. Like,
because there's
I don't know.
I'll get onto this in a bit. I've been playing Triangle Strategy, right? And there's a long story short, I've made a decision which I've now learned has locked me out of the best ending.
Ouch!
And it wasn't, but well, yes, but also I knew it was kind of a shitty decision to make, but it was one made in desperation, and so although it's. Yeah, it's like, oh, well, shit, I'm not going to get the best ending. But it's like, but that was just a decision I made at the time, and it felt right, if not ideal. Do you know what I mean? It felt organic as part of the way the story was unfolding and the scenario I was put in, not just speak to these 2 NPCs one after the other 3 times, and, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm conscious of. I know a lot of people like Elden Ring, and I am absolutely loving it. Like, genuinely, now that I'm starting to wrap my head around what's going on and where I need to go and how I need to upgrade my character, like, I am loving it. I'm just... There's part of me that just goes, actually, there are things that could be done better, and it wouldn't detract from the crazy... like mystique around it. You're not going to lose any of that stuff.
Yeah, and I think inevitably, like, it's shit that, like, the things you don't like so much stick out more just because you can't help but be like, well, everyone told me this is the fucking best game ever made. Right?
I see. I'm not there with that because I just I think because it took me by surprise so much. Like, as I said, there was no way I was going to play this game because I was done with FromSoft games, and I didn't want to go through that again. And it wasn't until I played it that I was blown away and gone, oh, it doesn't feel like that at all for now. And it might do later on, but for now, it doesn't feel like that at all for me. It just feels like I'm going around. And as I said, like, I'm not going into it thinking I'm going to finish this game. I'm just going into it thinking I'm going to see what I can see in this game.
See what you can get out of it as long as you're enjoying it. And
exactly. And I think it just gave off a whole different feeling. You couldn't do that in the old games because they were pretty linear.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't explore that here. I mean, I feel, for me, this could be like a Breath of the Wild situation again, whereby for that game, I spent 55 hours exploring and only have at that point killed 1 divine beast. I only had to rush through it because at that point my Switch was broken and I had to like get it sent off for repair and and whatever. So basically, I thought I'm going to lose my save at that point because there's no save.
Of course,
there's no cloud saves or nothing. So basically, do it now. And after that, I just spent 15 hours, killed all divine beasts, and that was my game done in 70 hours. But I feel like this game I could probably spend like another 20 or 30 or 40 hours without even progressing. I mean, maybe at that point it will change, but. No, I'm loving it. I'm loving everything about it, and I think the criticisms you say are totally fair, and and valid. And yes, it probably could be better if it's a little bit less obtuse, but also I kind of totally love that. I love being, I feel like I'm in a totally new environment where I don't know what's happening. I'm just trying to find my way through it, and
anyone listening,
the goats curl up in a fucking ball.
anyone
scared to turn a corner.
Anyone listening at home, please don't misunderstand. Like, yes, I have criticisms, but I'm not like, nah, shit. Actually, nah. Like, I'm having a really good time with it, and I was not expecting.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I think just the fact that like the horse, right? Like, obviously, on the one hand, yes, it's a way of getting around more quickly, but it's also a very clear like message from the developers. Like, feel free to run past things. Like, don't
for sure.
Like, if you're just traveling around and you see a group of enemies in your way, like, don't, obviously the usual Souls mentality is like, oh man, here's another challenge for me to face. Like, nah, fucking run off. Don't matter. Run around them. Fuck it.
I love the fact that it totally. How many open world games have you been where it's like, I want my horse now. Look around. There it is. It's wandering over.
You hear like a clomping in the back in the distance.
In this one, you do it and it just pops up in between your legs. Off you go. Lovely.
I love like doing that and then starting to run off, and then it it appears beneath you while you're running. I think that's a great little touch.
Yeah.
Oh, I've not seen that. I'll have to give that a go.
It does bother me a bit. Well, it doesn't bother me, but the fact that summoning the horse is like an inventory item. Like, I'd love it if it was just a button, but I realise there's probably no buttons left at this point.
Well, no. I mean, I just said it as a shortcut. I've got in mind to hold down triangle, press up, and the horse is there.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. If you press I'm playing on PlayStation, but the button is not the share button.
Yes.
It has like, you can see a bunch of shortcuts and you can set loads of things. So I've set like telescope to far right and the horse to top.
Sure, I haven't even bought the telescope yet. Is it worth getting?
I only did it to. Well, it sounds silly, but seeing the distance, I'm like, okay, there's enemies there. No, I'm not going to go. I'll go a different way. But no, I've got that set to right. I've got the horse set, so to top. So I've got a few of the ashes summons set to this, that, and the other. So in battle, it's just way easier. I'd press like, to get to a horse, triangle and up, and then in battle, I press triangle and left to get jellyfish.
Cool. No, that sounds really useful.
You should do that.
Another useful thing I was told. You guys may already know about this. I apparently the game does teach you it at some point, and maybe I wasn't paying attention. But the fact that you can do like a riposte, but from a block rather than a parry. Did you know this?
Yeah, I mean,
it tells you that in the tutorial that's down in that hole.
Okay, right. I must have.
But also, it doesn't really seem to do much. Like, it's not great.
Do you reckon?
So you hit R2.
Yeah, go on.
Hit R2 after they hit your shield, right?
Yeah, after a block, R2, and it is a more powerful move,
Yeah, I've found that it's pretty consistently staggering people, and then I get a fucking sword through the eye.
I haven't noticed that. But then I only started doing that once I was in the castle, so maybe if
they got
harder enemies, they're more
poise. You do have to wait a second.
In terms of where I am in the game, though, I've explored loads, but I'm now in Castle Morn, I think.
All right.
That's like the big... Does that ring a bell for anyone?
No, sorry.
It's like on the second... Well, it's about as south as I can get at the moment, on the second island.
Okay.
And that's kind of the place I need to go back to once I've done exploring for a bit.
That is. Cool.
Okay, that's enough Elden Ring.
It's gonna be a regular feature for a bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't really want to rush it. I feel like this is gonna be like a constant in the background when, like, say, Kirby comes out or other games come out. I reckon I'll break for a bit, play them, come back
Neutral
to
Times of Existence game, right?
Neutral Times of Existence, mate.
For sure. Sean,
that's gonna be constant until the end of the year.
What other games you got on your list?
Triangle Strategy. So this is the one, this is the Square Enix sort of grid-based, turn-based strategy game in the mould of Final Fantasy Tactics and similar. I played the demo a couple of months back, and then the progress from that carries on to the full game. And I was saying at the time that, like, the dialogue is terrible, but the story around, the story it's telling is good. It's just actually listening to the characters is quite tedious. But the combat was fine, but I wasn't clear on like how it was going to get more complicated. Like, it seemed quite simplistic, which obviously, the demo was the first bit of the game. Having played the full game, I mean, I'm about 10 hours in, something like that, which in a game like this is not huge. But the story is fully kicked off and got even more interesting, and combat is getting way more interesting as well in terms of like the abilities you get, right? Like you start out and it's like you've got a swordsman and you've got someone with a bow and arrow, and you've got a guy who can like buff your attack or your defense, and all sort of pretty typical stuff. And then it's like, right, now you've got someone who can build ladders, right? So if you're in a town, you can get someone to build a ladder, and then your archer can just fucking run up and then just sit on top of the houses picking people off. And then there's someone who can like build like traps and automated turrets and all sorts of weird shit. And it's really picking up. I'm still, as I say, relatively speaking, I think it's still sort of pretty early days, so it's far from a conclusive assessment. But I am enjoying it a lot. And the story's gotten really interesting. The thing I was alluding to before that's locked me out of the best ending. It's just basically it backs you into a corner. The story backs you into a corner in an interesting and convincing way, and it's basically like, look, you can do this one thing that'll make this fight a lot easier, but you might feel a little bit shitty about it. And yeah, right. and I made the decision, and
what, you went with it?
I did. I did the shitty thing, and I'm living with it. But it's not even like, it's not even like, oh well, we won, but you shouldn't have fucking done. Like it doesn't beat you over the head with it. Like some games where it's like, like the first,
where the options in red letters.
Or like
are you sure? Please confirm again.
The first Dishonored, where it's like, here's a game where you can run around stabbing people with a knife, but don't do it, because you'll get the bad ending. It's not doing that, it's not treating you like an idiot. And I really like the decision system in it as well. It's this weird thing where rather than you just making moral choices, you do make a few, but in the terms of the big story choices, so you're the lord of this fucking domain, right? And you've got your sort of most loyal followers, your closest friends, your advisor, your bride to be, etc., who all follow you in combat and stuff, but they're also your counsel, right? So whenever there's a big decision, it's everyone gets a vote, but before the vote, you can go around and talk to people. So it's obviously there's 7 of them, so there's an uneven number, so there's never a tie, but like it'll tell you like, right, so these 3 people want to do this, and then like 4 people want to do the other, or some people will be undecided, or whatever. So based on what you want to see happen, you can go around and try and convince them, and you can fuck it up, and you can make them go like, no, you're an idiot, like I'm definitely sticking with my original decision. The dialogue options you have in those conversations are sort of dependent on you having like wandered around like town first and sort of talking to the locals and get like learning things and stuff. And it's all folds together really nicely. There is a lot of story though between the fights, which it is perhaps a bit much. Like if you're approaching this just as a strategy fan, you're going to be skipping a lot of dialogue, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, you got to know that going in, right?
Enjoying it. The only other thing I've played really is Devolver Tumble Time.
What the fuck is this, Sean?
Do you remember that last Devolver Direct? They were like, we're making this mobile game.
Yes, because we weren't sure if it was a joke at the time.
I do. Oh, and it was like a piss.
Well, yeah. I'm still not. It's still not sure. It's right. It's fundamentally fun to play, right? It's you got this little circle on the screen, all these little icons sort of fall into it or tumble into it, and they're all like references to Devolver games, right? So you got like the woman from Greece and the little like one of the characters from Piku Niku, Lo Wang from Shadow Warrior, etc. Right, which is kind of fun, I suppose. And it's literally all it is they all fall in sort of randomly, and you're spotting. Like you're trying to spot like groups of them that have sort of clustered together, and you tap on them and then they disappear, and the more that, were clustered together when you tap on them, the more points you get. So if you get enough of them in one go, they'll create like a bomb, which you can blow up and destroy more things. So it's just a fun, just getting chains, and then there's like special abilities for different characters and et cetera, et cetera. But it's like they're trying to do this, like, it's like a shitty, aggressively monetized mobile game, like as if that's a joke, but it is actually just that. Like you've got like 5 hearts, and once you use them all, it's like, do you want to watch an advert or pay some money to keep playing? And there's like 6 different currencies.
Why do games do that? That's happened loads of times. You get like games that are like, in this shit about gaming.
I think
but you still got to do it.
Like, here's all the shit stuff we're laughing about.
Wasn't it? It was Far Cry Blood Dragon is the example I think people usually reach for, isn't it? Where it's like, here's a tutorial. Aren't tutorials annoying? Also, do the tutorial. Like, it's kind of like that, and it's almost more annoying that it is actually quite fun, right? Like, if it was just shit, I'd be like, well, okay, that's the joke. That's it. And, I'm probably not going to play it, but, very funny, I guess. But it's actually good, and I would like to pay more of it. But because I even thought, like, am I going to, go on, like, play an advert, and it'll be like a funny advert for a Devolver game, right?
Yeah, or like a made-up up fake
like,
game.
Maybe that's part of the joke. Nope, it's just your usual dog shit, like, fucking defend my kingdom. It's weird. Really weird. It just feels like they've tried to have the cake and eat it, and I don't think it works. Except, and it just makes it almost worse that it is actually a really fun game. So, don't know.
It's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, that is it from me this week.
Okay, well, I've only got a couple of things to talk about. Firstly, Gran Turismo 7, still smashing that, still really enjoying that. I just think it's great fun. Like,
I haven't gone back to it. I mean, how many menus have you done now?
I don't know, Matt. I don't know the numbers. I just keep doing them. And I've unlocked missions. I thought I'd unlocked that last week, but I hadn't. And missions are the way it was described last week was not what I expected. By the sound of it, it sounded like it was like a running ticker of if you overtake like 40 cars, then you'll get like a bonus or whatever.
No, I assume it's per race.
No, it's literally the driving school, but without doing the driving school bits. Like, it's not take this corner. It's you'll have like 3 corners to take, and like 3 cars ahead of you, and you've got to finish in first place. You get gold for first, silver for second.
Oh, right.
So you've really got to be tight. So it's exactly the same as driving school, really, but with other like races on the car, on the little tracks and all this sort of stuff. Really insanely addictive, like properly addictive, but also really fucking hard to get a gold in, so I've God knows how many hours I've put into that already. But yeah, no, Gran Turismo 7 is like, as I said, I got a few messages saying, oh, fucking David just ripping into that game. I'm really not. I'm loving it, and I'm still loving it. So
I thought we said how much we loved it. Yes, you had reservations about the intro, sure.
No, I just think that I like it. I just wanted to point out how weird it was. I wasn't saying necessarily that overall that was a bad thing at all, really. It's just fucking weird. Like, it's really fucking weird. Didn't someone, I don't know, have we got an email? I don't know if you included the email about it, where they were saying, no, I don't think you did. Someone sort of messaged in and said, why are you acting like learning about history is a bad thing?
I left it out because it referenced James. So I was going to leave it. But yeah.
Okay, right.
Next week.
So someone sent a message like that in, and I'm saying, no one's learning history by seeing a splash screen of saying Titanic happened. Like, that's not learning history. It's just not.
Well, I thought it was a Leonardo DiCaprio movie. I didn't realise it was a.
Well, you didn't realise it was a real event.
So sorry, wait, was the Leonardo DiCaprio? Was that not a documentary?
Well, that's what I thought. That's what, and now I think they've referenced. I don't know. I think they're being clever with it.
They've referenced what?
They referenced the Leonardo DiCaprio and
documentary.
When you say they have, why does it sound like you're saying Dave?
Dave referenced it, yeah. So there's a headline at the beginning saying Titanic sunk, but Titanic had like speech marks. I get it because it's the name of the ship, but that made me laugh because like Titanic sunk. Like,
like air
like when,
quotes.
like when you drive past a,
the Titanic.
when you drive past a school and there's a big banner saying like, "Oh, school has been rated good."
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
yeah, that always makes me laugh. Yeah, this is a good school.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
but like you know what the Titanic thing? Even when I was at school and learning that at school, I always the thing that I focused on the most is how people were saying it's the unsinkable ship, like before its first voyage. Like I was thinking, why would you?
To jinx it.
Why have you said that? It's just so stupid. This ship will never sink. It's too big. First day out and it sinks. I mean, a horrible tragedy, obviously, but come on. Fucking idiot. Who in the marketing department got fired after that? But you called it the unsinkable ship. Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we got
but
that
it's sunk.
wrong.
Yeah.
They won't remember.
We're a little bit carried away. Little bit carried away. Speaking of boats, Far Changing Tides, I started that. I sent you a message. Were you angry with the voice message that I sent you today?
No.
Right, okay, cool.
I responded, didn't I?
No, you responded to the message I sent you last night, which was, I didn't think twice about that. But then you were like, okay, what bit were you talking about? And I sent you a voice message, and I don't think you replied.
I sent you another voice message.
Oh, did you? Oh, maybe I didn't hear. Maybe I didn't hear it. But do you know what bit I was talking about? And was I wrong?
You're not wrong. So,
do you think
for everyone else, Dave just Dave just mentioned he was like, I'm enjoying this, but there's been like a bit for like 5 minutes where I've just not even had to touch the controller.
It was like, and I thought maybe it's going to be some like beautiful scenery to look at. There wasn't. Like I weren't really feeling the music, the atmospheric music they tried to put on.
Well, I now think I know why that is, because were you not like manning the sails as you were travelling?
I was going to say there was no point where I wasn't doing anything, so I was constantly trying to make sure that sail was full blast.
So I was doing that, but then that was it, and then it would just be fine for a little while, and then it would go. So then I'd run back and do it again, but nothing was breaking, nothing was really happening other than. And it felt like maybe I was just really tired last night, but it felt like it went on forever.
No. There's a couple of points. So I'm like, is this a game ending? And like the music's swelling. Am I about to see credits? Because it went on so long. So no.
Well, this is like the start of the game, right, Dave?
This is like right at the start. Yeah. I mean, say right at the start.
Well, you've seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
I got the boat. Oh, is there like what?
Yeah, you think that was long?
Okay,
but no, I took that as like
I'm still up for
it. I took that as just like, here's a bit of plain sailing just to get used to all the stuff in the boat, what it does, how to like most efficiently like travel at the fastest speed, etc. I don't know. I
There doesn't seem to be much to do on the boat though, right? Compared to the last one. So, and I'm sure that expands,
changes,
right? Yeah.
It does expand, but I still don't think it's not quite as. It doesn't feel anywhere near as intense as the first one, where you felt like you were manning 4 or 5 things at once.
With the first one, it felt like
there's a couple of things.
Yeah, it felt like with the first one, there were little tricks to getting around inside the vehicle to sort of be a bit more efficient. Whereas I didn't feel that with this one as much. This one just felt like a bit more difficult to get around, and like there was no, there was no like little shortcuts or anything.
Yeah, I've got 2 quick questions for you. First being, did it take you a while to work out that little block fixes stuff?
No, I think
the little block.
I got that.
Little lights.
The thing you pick up, the can.
Yeah, it took me a while to realise that you pick that up and then it fixes stuff. Like I was running back and forth. I didn't really know what to do.
And to be clear, so I didn't struggle with that, but there were certainly other bits like puzzles and stuff where I sort of failed to read what I was supposed to do. So.
Do you remember it being like that? Like the last game being like that? Because I just remember it being like ultra
really
intuitive.
Slick and yeah.
And the other thing was, did you pick up that like plant pot and put it in the ship?
I did, yes.
Should I have done that? Do you reckon?
I think that. I mean, I didn't do enough of that. I think that probably leads on to something, or maybe it's an achievement. But I put it in. I got an achievement for doing so. And you can also, I'm not sure if you realise, but you can also open the roof above that plant. Now, I'm thinking probably if you do it enough, the sun and stuff, maybe it grows and does something. I don't know. I didn't get that far, but I did open the roof for like the latter part of the game after putting the plant in. But I didn't see it. Maybe it goes somewhere, maybe it doesn't. But
I just remember the last game, it starts with you saying, oh, you have to deliver a letter, right? And I remember, you have to deliver something, a parcel or something. And I remember taking it onto the ship and taking it all the way to the end of the game, and there was nothing, there was literally no reason to do that.
Saying that or implying that. I can't, but then it's been a while.
What, that you deliver a parcel at the start of the thing?
But maybe
I'm pretty sure it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to go back and look at it. But I remember taking that right the way to the end of the game and then just thinking there was literally no need for me to do that. It was such a waste.
There's a bunch of things in this game we collect. I'm like, a bunch of things that make music. I'm like, am I supposed to arrange these in a certain order? Am I supposed to put them in a certain place? But again, I didn't experiment enough, and then the game ended.
Yeah.
So.
Well, look, I loved the last Far game. I was in a grumpy mood last night, so I'm in no way reflecting badly on Changing Tides, and I'm bang up for playing through to the end.
How much have you played so far?
Probably about 45 minutes to an hour.
Oh, cool,
yeah. So still a long way to go,
see
but I'll get to the end. I want to see this. I'm going to see some cool stuff, Sean. Bang up for that. The other thing I did this week, we went to the Heart of Gaming in Croydon, which is one of these places where it's an arcade, massive arcade, and you get to just pay £10 up front, and then everything's in free play. It's strange because we went there thinking, how long are you going to actually stay in an arcade? And it's the most eye-opening thing you can go through. And let me tell you why. You go into an arcade and you look around and you pick, because it's £1 a fucking go, you pick £2 in some of them. You pick the machines that you know that you're going to like playing, right? Oh, I've played that before, or I like racing games and that looks like a good one. I'll try that or whatever. When they're all on free to play, you just play fucking everything. And then all of a sudden there'll be one game where you're like, I'm going to play this a lot now. So that's that. And the selection that they had in this place was brilliant. They had everything from, they had virtual tennis machines. They had everything from that to Street Fighter to weird Japanese dance games. Not even dance games. They had, I don't know if you've seen one of these, Sean's. It's like a big circular screen with, I would say, 12 buttons around the outside.
Yeah.
And then you've got to touch the buttons in time. And some of them you have to touch and then slide your hand across the screen and press the other in time with it. It's just really good fun.
I've never played it, but I think, do they have that? I mean, it might not be that exact one, but there's similar stuff in Arcade Club, definitely. Yeah.
No, I definitely want to try another one of these places for sure. And to be clear as well, this isn't an advert. we had to pay to get in, pay 20 quid for me and Harry to get in. Sorry, I just wanted to make that clear. But it had the ones with the big drums. They also had a pinball section that Harry was well into. He loves a bit of pinball. They had 8-player Daytona link up games. So there was 5 of us. So we played a few games just because you just can. We played 3 or 4 races of 5-player link up Daytona, and it was this is just the best. This is it was so much fun that I just thought, this is. I mean, I don't know how how they're doing financially. It must cost so much to run a place like that
now.
Yeah, it does indicate that they are making a profit.
Yeah,
doesn't it? And I really hope they are, because this is literally how you should be playing arcade games.
It's really nice, isn't it? Especially obviously having grown up the way we did. Well, as you say, you'd go into an arcade and you might have about 3 quid, and that had to last, and you had to be so careful about what you played. And then when you and if you just completely ate shit on one particular game, you just be like, oh fuck, that was a waste of money. And
there was a point where that changed though, right? So I remember being a kid, and it was 20p a go, and I remember putting 20p in, and I could be 15 to 20 minutes on one machine.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And it was Puzzle Bobble or Metal Slug or something like that. But you could get a good 10 to 20 minutes out of a game on 20p. And then it suddenly changed. And it was oh, what? So games are only a minute long now?
Well, is that what arcades
do?
There's just varying degrees of cynicism, wasn't there, about well, how do we like, do we want to make good games or do we want to make money? And I suppose with arcades, that's sort of more sort of obviously mutually exclusive, I suppose. Because there were definitely like absolutely there were games that were just like, well, let's just make it really fucking hard, and then so people have to put more money in it.
Well, it was either that, or it was like it's a racing game, but whereas in previous arcade racing games, if you finished a course in a certain time, you went on to the next course. Yeah.
Whereas
like the racing game suddenly decided like you do
race,
one lap,
get out.
You finished first. Well done. Yeah. Game over. What do you mean game over? I finished first. Well done. Not game over. Yeah. Yep, game over.
I mean, I basically grew up in the arcades with being a seaside town. I mean, we're in it. I mean, in our summers, we'll basically do some crab fishing off the pier with my mate Gavin Reed.
Nice.
And then we'll basically go in the arcade. We'll try and win some money to pay for lunch using like the horse race machine. Any spare cash, we'll play Sega Rally, House of Dead, or GTI Club. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I literally spent my entire summers on the arcade. And if you live in Seaside Town, that's basically it. That's all you got.
Because where's because the other arcade club is Leeds, isn't it? I think is it Leeds?
Yeah. It's literally like about a 7-minute walk from the studio.
Oh man, you should totally go, man.
I don't know. I think our games in there as well. We just haven't been. I mean, because I think there has been like kind of team nights out, but not since COVID.
Right? Yeah, makes sense.
I don't know. I just haven't been there. I probably should do because I'm sure it'd be good. Yeah.
Honestly, I can't believe how much Harry loved it, because it was like, just go on what you want, mate. Like, we've been to arcades before, and he tends to go on those ticket machines because at least he's getting something out of it.
Even though you need about 25,000 for a WAM bar.
Yeah, exactly. But in here, it was just like, okay, I'm going to. But he was playing like Time Crisis, and I'm like, oh my god, this is like, he was right. We did play Point Blank.
Oh, he's a lot of Point Blank.
So good.
Oh my god, that was one of the ones where like he was upset after playing that, because obviously I smashed him, and like he was like, oh, I can't. What? How have you got 44 targets and I've got 3?
Fuck.
And I was like, Harry, you've got to understand, I'm really good at Point Blank. I played this a lot. I felt like Marty McFly in Back to the Future 2. Do you know what I mean? It was such a kid's toy. And I am really good at Point Blank. But even like they had like an air hockey and all that sort of shit. So like, just can't recommend it enough. I mean, I've heard that most of these places, I've never heard of one of these places where someone said it's awful. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm saying definitely go to this.
The only one I wasn't blown away by, for one very simple reason. It's nothing to do with like how nice the place is or anything. It's NQ64. There's quite a lot of them now. I think there's like 2 in Manchester. I think there's one in Liverpool. Right. I think like Glasgow's getting one. Like, they've spread out quite a lot. But that's the only one I've come across where you still have to like, it's still pay per play. Like you buy tokens from the bar, and then those tokens work in the machines. Which like not interested in places like that. Like, the other one that we've been recommended is the Pixel Bunker in Milton Keynes. So I think that might be next on the list of places to go and check out. But really impressed with that. Really enjoyed our time there. So these places are good. Go check them out. Go check them out.
Should do it, really.
Should we get into questions?
Aye. If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Sarah Dyer says, hello, lads. Keeping with the Challenge TV theme, how well do you think you'd do on the Crystal Maze? Who would you want as the other 2 people on your team? Spoiler, me. And who would be the first to get trapped in one of the rooms? And would you spend a crystal to rescue them?
Oh, I'd love to do it so much.
Right, okay. I think Matt will be the first to get trapped. I think Matt will get trapped.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Well, no, because I'll make sure I'll get to the door before the 30 seconds are up or whatever. I've never understood how people get trapped in these rooms.
You wouldn't know.
Oh, but
you absolutely wouldn't.
The moment I get in, I'm like, "Where's my exit?"
You'll go, "Where's my exit?" And we'll go, "You got 5 seconds," and you will honestly believe, heart on heart, that you could get that crystal and get to the door in those 5 seconds, and you wouldn't be able to, and you'd get locked in, and we'd say, "Actually, he's probably all right in there, isn't he?"
That said,
that's what I wouldn't get trapped in.
I was going to say, I can imagine James getting himself trapped in on purpose just so he can just sit down for half an hour. And then just be like, no,
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 James-
you guys leave it. No, don't rescue me. Don't get me out. Don't spend me. Just leave me to it.
James is too cool for that.
Do you reckon?
James will. And I tell you, every time I've doubted James on something, he's shown me up, and he's been amazing.
I can just
So
imagine
I think-
us getting irate at him and just being like, stop shouting at me. Just let me.
Yeah. Do you reckon James would prefer to be the person in the rooms doing the challenge, or actually the one outside the window shouting, saying, "Turn it to the left, you idiot"?
No, he wouldn't do any shouting though. That's the thing. He'd go off and do his own thing. I think he'd prefer to be in there. Definitely.
Yeah, I would love to Crystal Maze. I mean, obviously, I loved it when I was a kid, and I've often thought, why don't they just take their jackets off and put them over the bloody fans at the end? I've never understood that. Maybe it's the rule. I don't know.
It'd be interesting because obviously, having now that I've got into escape rooms and stuff, the fun thing about escape rooms
supposed to get out
is
of them,
that that's true. The fun thing is that you there'll be a puzzle and one of you's holding two of the pieces of it, and then someone else will just be like, "Fuck, I think I've got it. Give me those," right? And you'll be like, "Oh, why? What's the solution?" And it's your understanding of it is you can't even vocalize it. Do you know what I mean? And you're just right, no, just give me that box and these 2 bits of newspaper and right, hang on, give me a sec.
Yeah.
And it's that weird sort of collaboration, someone's brain has just gone and just fucking got something that no one else could see. Whereas obviously,
which is fine, but I would be one of those people that are like, I've got it, it's this, and then 5 minutes later go, oh no, it's not. I just waste everyone's time.
So I don't know how does that translate with Crystal Maze, right? Where it's just one of you in there and everyone's kind of observing, but not necessarily. I don't know. Be interesting.
I think I'd be quite good as the one shouting through the window.
Oh, I'm sure you would, Dave.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'd be the best at that, David. Yeah,
I would be good at
but
that.
I would love to do that. I mean, I've loved the celebrity one. I've loved that show since I first watched it. I would love nothing more.
You think you could get on the celebrity one? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I should do. I'm big enough, aren't I?
No.
Yeah,
No.
We'll phone up Richard Ayoade and be like, look, computer game show. And he'd go, oh, yeah.
Go on.
You go, I'm Richard Ayoade. It's the one impression that I'm happy with. So who from the computer game show is going to be on? Sean, is it? David? No? James Farley? No, Matt. Who's
the
Matt?
admin guy. Well, I think if I'm Richard, that I'm quite looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I haven't done an escape room either. I would quite like to do one.
So hold on. Part of the question is that we got to pick 2 people.
I was going to say So if one of them's Sarah, I think we're all fine with that. Who's the other one?
No, hold on. Wait, so who would you want as the other 2 people of your team? Right. So what? There's 6 people in a team.
Yeah,
is there?
yeah. I think so.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So Sarah's one of them. Who's the other?
I'm going to go Adele.
Yeah.
She's got a great voice.
Is she a known fan?
She's a great voice.
Good cue.
Um,
I don't know. Who's really competitive? Denton would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Denton would be well competitive, wouldn't he? What do you think?
Yeah, but he'll be reacting to us through the window. And no,
That's true,
stop
yeah.
reacting. Give us the answers.
when they're like, oh, what? When they're listing all the different sorts of challenges, you can just be like, is there any way you just have to knock someone out? Because we've got a guy, we've got someone for that.
Matt.
No, and Matt's like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'll probably kill them.
Yeah, I'm not Richard.
Boat goes through the nose for the fucking brain or whatever.
Yeah, this room is knocking someone out.
Let's move on.
Lee Morris says, hiya. If you could choose any video game character to summon as a ghost, was that all right? Did I do it?
Yeah, perfect.
Nailed that.
If you could choose any video game character to summon as a ghost, a la Elden Ring, to help you with your day jobs, who would it be and why? Thanks for the top quality entertainment every week.
Probably Adele.
Interesting, the ghost.
Yeah.
Not a video game character.
I mean, when we say your day jobs, as in our actual jobs, not errands or things to do around the house. I don't know who'd be good. It'd just be like.
Has it got to be a dead video game character though?
Oh
No,
shit!
Otherwise they're not a ghost.
No. And just do any.
We can
do any of them.
Just pick one.
dead.
Just pick one. If they're alive, we'll murder them. It's fine.
Okay. It'll be Yoshi, innit?
How would he help you with your job?
How's he going to do CAD
Yeah.
with those arms?
Forgot that bit of the question. Oh, easy. Jason. Not Jason.
Not
Ethan.
Ethan
from Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
Ethan, not Winters. That
Yeah, did you see how quickly he did the fucking elevation
Of
drawing
course,
in his
yeah,
house
Yeah,
before,
Ethan
his,
nailed on for your job. Yeah.
before his life got torn apart? Could you imagine that though? Like, just you're summoning Ethan to help me, and it'd be like, okay, Ethan, we need to work on this elevation here. If you could focus on south and east elevation, I'll do the north and west. And stop crying, Ethan. Stop crying. I know you lost your son.
Just stick to
I know
the
this is really
drawing. I know you've got
Can
one
you
hand,
just-
but stick to the drawing.
I've got no. You only
Please
lost a finger.
focus
Right?
on. Yeah.
Oh, good point.
No, Ethan. There are no balloons around here. Don't worry about it.
It's all right.
It's fine.
It's all right.
There's nothing's going to set you off, mate. Just get to your drawing,
Do
yeah?
have
Because
to-
do you remember, you were good at that.
Yeah.
You were good at that drawing,
It
Ethan.
was.
Come
It
on.
was really good. Didn't do any drawing after that first. Did that one drawing. That's the only drawing he's ever done in his life.
Yeah. But it
It's
was
a great
good
drawing,
one,
though, to be
wasn't
fair.
it,
Really good
Ethan?
drawing. Yeah, he should
Nailed
have
it.
stuck at it. He could have really
15
made-
seconds.
Yeah, could have
We
really
would
done
love
something
to,
with
but
it.
his kid was missing.
Yeah, that's true. He's busy.
His kid was missing, wasn't
Really,
he?
yeah, he's busy.
Famously.
Busy with that.
Okay, let's.
I
I
Who
don't
else has
know
got an answer?
which character could do my job. I mean, it's very technical.
None of them.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's not like game characters have mentioned a love of marketing in the story.
Leisure Suit Larry. There you go. There's your answer, Matt.
Yeah, he'll sort you out.
Okay.
I just need someone to keep me like motivated and focused. Is there a? I'm trying to think. Just one of the like the
Is
one
there
one
a
of the
Mr.
Wii.
Motivator video game? There must have been on the Wii.
I
right?
was going to say like
something
maybe one of the like Wii Fit instructors or something. Just give me
that's a good shout.
positive reinforcement, just being my mate.
Have the Idols released a song called Mr. Motivator? That's weird. I've got to watch that later. I don't think there is a Mr. Motivator video game. What a disappointment.
That is a missed opportunity.
It should be, yeah. Who's
Maybe
got the
it is, isn't
license?
it?
Money on the table. Well, Mr. Motivator, I assume.
GMTV?
Yeah. GMTV.
Do you think he has that registered as like a trading name?
Oh, yeah,
think
for
he
sure.
does.
Mr.
What-
Motivator
what's his
Limited.
real- what's
Mr.
his real-
Motivator Core.
What's his real name?
Mister?
It's Ian,
Gareth
Ian
Motivator.
Motivator.
Yeah. He was on the wheel a couple of weeks ago.
His name is Derek Evans, MBE,
Ah,
better known
Oh,
as Mr.
Des.
Motivator.
let's get him on the show.
He's 69 years old. Nice.
Nice.
Right, so it's terrible when they go on next.
Happy Easter, Sam and Neil says, given the NFT to the digital pogs of the
Who?
minute.
Oh, it's different. Actually, it's different Sam and Neil.
Wait, what?
Sam and Neil sounds like a wicked detective series on like Dave. Don't you think?
What's
I'm
the
thinking more
hook?
like
What's the talk to me. What's
It's just always their birthday.
Oh, okay.
Like every episode.
Oh, yeah.
It's another moider. Yeah, that's ruin my birthday.
I
Come
can't
on,
believe
Sam.
on me moided on me birthday.
Sam's a
Tell me
dog.
talk.
Sam's Neil's dog. Come on, Sam. Let's go. Another birthday ruined.
And then at the end of every episode ends with dog food placed on floor with a birthday candle on it.
Absolutely.
And then
Absolutely.
the dog blows it out.
Blows it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Neil goes to bed and finds a poorly wrapped birthday present on his bed, and he works out that it was from his dog Sam.
Oh my god.
And Sam had somehow
Yeah, some dog
got
food.
some sellotape. Yeah, he goes and looks at Sam's paw, and there's a bit of sellotape on it. And he goes,
He's like,
I
looking
love
on.
you,
voice.
bastard.
Oh my god.
What was it? Yeah, given that NFTs are the digital pogs of the minute, what trends in gaming have you each been caught up in, if any, and which are you most glad to have seen the back of?
I think let's not slag off Pogs were good, weren't they?
Pogs were good.
Pogs were good, but
I never got
frivolous.
into them, but they were better than
What?
NFTs.
So when you said
you
pogs
never
were
got into
good,
them?
weren't they? You were actually just checking because you actually didn't.
Yeah, I
Can
never
you
got
imagine
into them.
that?
Me and my friends never got into them, so they were
No.
like, "Oh, Pogs, that's the thing you can like." Do you slam Pogs and you
You slam a Kini. Yeah, the Kini was the big,
sorry,
like
what?
the heavy plastic one.
Okay.
And so you'd have a stack.
I had a metal one.
I had a
metal one of those. Take someone's fucking eye out, mate.
Jesus. So you'd stack up your pogs, the little cardboard fellas, and you smash the Kini on it. And then I can't remember, was it everyone that like flipped over you won or something?
Yeah, if you flipped over, you kept them.
Yeah, that's right.
So you put like 10 of yours down, 10 of theirs down, you shuffled them up, flipped them, like put them in a stack, and then
it's funny because like at the time, because I think they ended up being banned in our school because it's like, it's going to get you
gambling.
Yeah, it's going to get you into gambling. No, it taught me that gambling's bullshit. So what do you mean? I put this stuff in, and then by random luck, I might just lose a load of stuff. Fuck that. What? Obviously, bad setup.
A lot more skill involved in that. Sounds like you weren't
what
very good at
I didn't play Pogs, and I still go into gambling. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you're the biggest.
Found your own way to it. Yeah.
Out of the three of us, you're the one that hasn't played Pogs, and you're the one that's gambled the most.
Exactly.
Out of the three
That's what
of
I'm
us.
saying. It taught me.
Bloody Pogs.
Taught me that gambling was bad.
You missed out there.
Gaming trends.
I mean, it depends what you mean by trends. I mean, obviously, we've mentioned it before, but just the fucking online pass. Do you remember those days?
Oh, yeah. Trying to stop you from buying second-hand games and
Go on then, James. Go on then, Matt. Sorry,
well, no,
James
that's not a trend. That's just like something imposed on the industry.
Give us a trend then. Go on, Matt. Away you go.
Well, everyone playing Fortnite and stuff. I mean, that would be
everyone
a trend.
playing Fortnite and stuff. That's the trend that you.
Trend.
That would be more of a trend because that was like, okay, suddenly everyone's playing Fortnite. Other people then play it. A battle pass or whatever you mentioned earlier. Or, what did you play? A season pass? That was just something imposed on us from like the companies. It's not a trend.
A season pass. It was all right, okay. But your reply to that was to have a go at my suggestion,
which
and
wasn't a real suggestion.
Everyone playing Fortnite and that. Everyone playing Fortnite. What about that trend?
But Fortnite got massive, and then other people played it as well. So that was definitely a trend in gaming versus something that companies just imposed on us.
But where do we go with that in terms of conversation?
You need to find a good suggestion for a kickoff.
I think you do, Matt.
No, I've done Fortnite. Did you listen with those ears of yours?
I've got a different one. Okay, I've got one.
Okay, good. A real one.
Everyone playing Minecraft and that? When everyone was playing Minecraft?
I mean, that was... No, because we were ahead of the curve there, David.
That was annoying, wasn't it?
No, we were ahead of the curve. We were
I've got another one. But everyone playing PUBG and that? Remember? When they were all playing PUBG? Do you remember when they all played Call of Duty? Modern Warfare? Remember that?
No, that wasn't the same. PUBG, you had me there, but not
a lot of that going around. I'm trying to think of an actual good answer. The best I've got was...
Oh, shit. That was...
Wow.
Just went
really
and swiped us both there, Matt.
Yeah. Take that.
Not like this dickhead.
I just... when MMOs first started being a thing, right? And it was like, it's fucking amazing because it's like you fucking spend your whole life on it and there's so much to do. And there was loads of them cropping up.
Job.
Yeah, you lose your job and your friends, the whole lot. And it was just like there were loads popping up because I think they were seen as a bit of a money spinner, and then it turned out obviously they're horrendously expensive to develop and keep running, and loads of them shut down. But it was like fucking Asheron's Call, World of Warcraft, City of Hero. Like there was just loads. There's others I can't even remember the names of that I tried because I think I was just permanently convinced that it's like, oh well, there'll be one of these that I'll like because everyone seems to think they're good, and it turns out I just don't really like them.
Yeah, I didn't really go on with them.
So the
only one I got into was Fantasy Star Online on the original Xbox.
See, that probably doesn't count by most people's rate. I don't think it does. I think it's...
No, but it definitely doesn't. But I tell you what, it was fucking weird when I had to cancel it. Because you had to pay, what was it, £5 a month hunter's license.
Yeah.
And the only way to cancel was you had to ring someone up.
God, yeah.
And say, hello, hi, yeah, how can I help? I want to cancel my hunter's license,
cancel my hunter's license, please?
Are you sure? We'll give you 2 weeks for free. Oh, no, thank you. Want to get rid of my hunter's license now, please? Oh, you sure? Maybe we'll give you a month for free. What about that? That's very kind of you, but I'd like to cancel my hunter's license, please. Yeah, that was weird.
Bad times.
That was so weird. Yeah, I can't think of any trends.
I mean, arguably a trend now is just all our various kind of subs, isn't it? I mean, sub to PlayStation Now, sub to Game Pass, sub to Ubisoft something.
That's not going away anytime soon, is it?
It certainly isn't.
Hello,
depressing,
Spaceman.
isn't it?
Says, good afternoon,
Hi.
TCGS compassionate gamers. Love
I thought
everything.
you'd just give me a cool new nickname. Fuck.
I can if you want.
Hello,
to use
Spaceman.
I don't think this guy owns it. I think you can be Spaceman.
Oh, wicked.
You
I'm
can
going to
be
be
Spaceman.
Spaceman from now on.
It says,
Go
love
on.
everything you do. Get super excited every Wednesday when it's time for a pod. Please never stop doing what you're doing. I mean, we'll have to one day. Can't lie to you.
I'm afraid we have to announce this as the last one we're doing.
Yeah. We got rid of Farley and now we're 2 hours into this and it's like, it doesn't work, does it? This doesn't work.
Yes, this is
It's a
Rob's.
failure.
As previously mentioned, Matt dead.
Yeah, as referenced earlier, Matt dead. So let's move on.
Man, Dad. I have a question about what are hills you guys will be willing to die on? Gaming-wise or in other walks of life, what is something that you are so passionately opinionated about, even if it goes against the grain? To kick things off, in my heart of hearts, Breath of the Wild is overrated. I enjoyed most of the game.
You fucking...
But I missed
Goodbye,
the
Spaceman.
missed the Zelda tropes that I'd grown up enjoying, and the final boss fight for me was underwhelming. Jesus.
That's pretty amazing, wasn't
Yeah,
it? It's really
it's
good.
incredible. Anyway.
What the thing that I've really... I'm not quite there with Dreamcast is overrated, but that is certainly one. That's certainly one that I know would rile a few people up. But I do genuinely... It's not being a dick. I do genuinely think that people overrate it because... I guess it was like me with the Saturn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought the Saturn was a wonderful little machine,
Agreed.
but it was mainly, I think I would defend that more than I should do because I felt like I was in a little club.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it was good. And really, it was a massive failure, wasn't it? It wasn't very good at all.
But it's not about how it's done commercially. Is did you have fun while playing it? And the answer is yes.
Yeah, but when people say the Dreamcast is one of the best consoles and all that sort of stuff, that's when you have to stop it and go, oh, wasn't though, was it?
Yeah, like
I mean,
how many games would you
liked it.
genuinely like to go back to now?
Exactly, Sean.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but it had loads of great games. Yeah, but all consoles have loads of great games. It's just all consoles, more like of the other consoles had a lot more of those great games as well, and didn't last just a couple of years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So probably that one.
Hills I'm willing to die on.
Or fences you're willing to sit on, Sean.
All of them, every single one. Too Human would have done better critically if it was released in the age of the smartphone.
Oh,
Because that admittedly very silly, like 30-second death animation would not have annoyed people half as much. Where it's just like, oh, I've died, I'll just check Twitter. Okay, it's finished, crack on. Instead, you have to just sit and fucking watch it. There's nothing else to do. No other screen to look at. One screen was all you had. Do you remember? Do you remember those days?
yeah, I do remember that.
Awful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah, bullshit.
Isn't for you? Wouldn't it be that Souls games should have a difficulty setting?
I mean, yeah, but I'm given the current capital D discourse on Twitter, I can't be asked.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you would be willing to die on that hill, but I totally see what you're saying. You cannot be bothered to go through with the argument.
It's happened so many times now. I'm sorry, how many false starts was that to a sentence? That was like 3 or 4.
I just said, I do that all the time, though, to be fair. Don't worry about it.
Basically, yeah, the debate has happened so many times, and I've seen so many people eloquently agree with me that I'm just like, if you still don't agree with me that basically every game should have an easy mode, then you're never going to, and what's the fucking point in continuing to hash it out? I don't.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's like, fucking forget it. I don't. What's the point? Yeah.
Matt, you got an answer?
Mine would be that Heavy Rain was a good game, but obviously since then,
I don't know. I think a lot of people. I think Heavy Rain's got a lot more support than you probably think. Yours would be Detroit would be the one that I think would be more controversial.
yeah, I enjoyed that too. But obviously, like people realise David Cage is a piece of shit. The studio's problematic as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So that then changed everyone's opinion of the games. But I liked Heavy Rain. I thought people at the time did, but now everyone's like, the Heavy Rain absolute piece of
There
shit.
was definitely,
I liked
at
Heavy
the
Rain.
time, I think a lot of us were sort of under the spell. There was a lot of stuff about it seemed really cool, and then it just sort of unravelled over time, didn't it? Like, you sort of go back and be like, hang on a minute.
I still stand by it. I still thought
didn't...
it was a half-decent game.
Yeah.
I just really hated Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Never played Beyond, thankfully, but
that was
I did play. Yeah, the other one. I like it.
But then you might like it because
I like it, and I'm looking forward to whatever they do next. But obviously, also
they've got so much shit to sort out, haven't they?
Well, yeah. And Star Wars apparently is so heavily delayed. I mean, I've heard like ridiculous release dates for that. So
there's a Star Wars game coming out next month. I saw a fucking trailer for it, I saw a billboard for it.
There's a what game?
The Lego Skywalker Skyman.
Saga.
What's it
Skyman.
called?
Lego Skyman.
Skyman story.
Lego Skyman swords.
Lego Skyman swords.
Yeah, so I think we're going to buy that.
Cool.
We're going to get that one.
That'd probably be good.
Yeah, it probably will be, won't it?
No one's ever heard, no one's said about co-op yet in that game. And at the time I Googled it, zero mention of co-op.
No, I'm pretty sure they had.
I found multiple articles, nothing mentioning co-op. The website doesn't mention co-op.
I think there was a recent trailer that said about co-op, but I'll double check that. I could be wrong. I
want to know, because if so, I'll definitely buy it for Elodie. Yeah.
Another hill I'm willing to die on. Probably not a massively controversial one, but I've definitely had some funny looks. Mayonnaise on chips is better than tomato sauce.
Yeah, I fully agree there.
Yeah, mate.
Team Mayo.
Yeah, mate.
I just don't have. Yeah, I don't have any on that. I don't think.
You don't have an opinion which one's better, mayo or ketchup?
No, I usually just go for a little dash of salt. That's what I go
that
for.
As well, but
yeah.
No, I'm not against mayo on chips. So continue.
I'd have mayo on most things actually, which is good.
Yeah, but not a bacon sandwich.
No.
No,
I would give it a go. But
fucking hell.
But obviously that's ketchup primarily, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Give anything a go once.
Next. Sure. Fucking hell. Go on.
Last one. Maria Mendieta says, Dear TCGS Collateral Damage, having just replaced a controller after vigorously parrying in Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, I know it will not be long before I need another one. Which game has led you to hold your controller in a death grip and aggressively mash buttons even when you know a light tap will suffice? Thank you for making the week cheerier.
Easy for me, FIFA games. And I'll tell you why. When you're running to try and get to the ball before your opponent, because they're just at running pace and it's not like super like fast pace, you're trying to push the stick further than the plastic will actually let it go. Like, honestly, I've fucked up so many pads doing that. Like, you're holding down the run button harder than you're supposed to, and you're trying to literally break the plastic around the analog stick.
You're pushing the run button through the back of the controller.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I fucked up so many pads with that game. It's nuts.
Oh,
and it was like what was it when the PS4 come out? When I was playing FIFA on the PS4, they had like rubber tops to the analog sticks.
Oh yeah.
They just disintegrated. Absolutely disintegrated within about 2 months. It's ridiculous.
What was it I think it was PS3 where like a lot of racing games started using the face buttons for like acceleration in driving games because no one liked the triggers. And obviously and those face buttons were like pressure sensitive. And I remember I can't remember which racing game it was, but I remember playing it a lot and then after like hours being like, oh, I actually really need to like fucking hold the button down to actually go as fast as I can. Turns out I was just like, just not like using.
You noticed that first in GTA, whatever GTA come out on that one. I think it was probably GTA 4 or whatever. And I was like, why am I driving so slow? And it was like, oh no, you need to really hold down the buttons to actually go fast.
Well, this is it. Like it's like, oh, it's got 256, like, degrees of pressure, which basically just meant holding it a bit, holding it normally, and like fucking breaking it. Do they still do that, PlayStation controllers? Do they still have that pressure sensitivity on the face buttons? I assume not, because I don't think anyone...
I think they got rid of them because not enough games... Yeah, not enough games used it.
No, it was basically some racing games.
Yeah, I think they announced it on the last pad, so it was pointless.
Yeah,
so
I know Kojima was a fan. Like, all the Metal Gear Solid games used that like quite a bit, I think, but that's it.
For me, it's every game.
Really?
Yeah, I always like press pads too hard and buttons too hard. I mean, like when me and Dave play FIFA, you can just hear like in the background, like I'm playing track and field.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm so conscious that I'm so like, okay, try and hammer it less or hold it away from the mic or whatever I'm doing, but no, I can't help it. I'm always like.
I don't think I've ever broken a controller, like ever. Like, I think I must be quite gentle with them, I suppose. I don't know.
Is this your lovely hands?
It's lovely
hands.
Hands that wash dishes, mate.
Yep.
I'm surprised I haven't broken more controllers, frankly. But
yeah, I don't think I've smashed one. But
we've been over
this. They've broken but me, trying to press things too hard.
You haven't smashed one, but they broke one after you dropped it on the floor vigorously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't smashing it though. No, it was just a coincidence.
You were pointing and the controller fell out of your hand and it hit the ground in a second and it
correct.
exploded.
And I wasn't even angry about the game anyway.
So you're telling a funny anecdote, which at one point involves you like gesturing across the room and you forgot you were holding it. Through the window.
Dust.
Yeah.
It's like after you go to one of those Greek restaurants.
Yeah. If you really enjoyed the game,
tradition.
You fucking bang on the floor.
Yeah. Tradition.
Yeah.
It's just part of it.
That one might be my new tradition. Smash a pad every time after playing an online game. It's tradition.
Yeah.
Just smashing like fucking Xbox pads, standing up and down, cracking them against the wall and shit. Yeah, I'm up for that. Let's do it. Let's make it a thing.
Did we ever comment on the pod about the fact Harry designed his pad and you got it back?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we did.
I think we mentioned that it was coming, but no, it arrived and it was amazing. Like I was so really surprised.
Good.
Yeah, really smart.
And
he's ordered his own now. Have you seen that?
Tell me you designed that one.
That's coming Wednesday. No. He wanted to design his own, and it's similar to mine, but it's different colours. And he's made a one interesting change. But
has he put an engraving on this one? Because that was what I was most interested in your one.
No,
what's he written?
Nah, he didn't want an engraving on it. He's fine. I think that kind of ruins it actually. When we were looking at the engravings and stuff, it's just like it's just a word like printed on the bottom of the pad. So yeah, we haven't gone with the engravings, and he didn't want the rubber stuff or the metal buttons or anything like that. He just wanted his standard little pad that he's made, and he's well pumped for it. I think it's supposed to come Wednesday, his one. So I'll have to post pictures of that up as well. He was so proud of it though.
I need to let Isaac have a go.
He absolutely nailed your design. It was a classy look.
Well, this is it actually, and this is something that John said, because John said I want to see what Cody would buy, but there's no way that I'm going to buy it. Because it'd just be a waste. Yeah. And I said, well, that's fine. Just let him design one on the thing and then send me a screenshot because I'd love to see what he comes up with. So that's an option. Just do that. Get Elodie to do it, Matt.
Yeah, I might do. I'm
you don't
sure
have
she'll
to
love
buy
that,
it, though. This is the problem, though. Matt will just buy it, won't he?
Yeah.
I'm not going to drop 60 plus quid on a custom pad just for the sake of it. No
60
way.
tops.
60 max.
So you'll be all right. Yeah, you'll be
angry. That's all my rolling around. I've got energy bills to pay for.
Oh, God, yeah.
Fucking laugh, Matt. If Elgato dropped a £3,000 fucking button, just what is it? Oh, it's the Elgato button.
I would definitely buy
It's just a
Elgato
button.
You press it.
£3,000. Yeah, well, I've got 8 pre-ordered. All right, Matt. Well, I might need 8 buttons. All right, Matt. Okay.
You can program each one to do stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what
I mean?
Do you know what the Mr. Motivator website says he is? Do you know how it describes him?
Sean, I swear to God, if it's something about like crypto exec, I'm going to die.
No. Mr. Motivator is the world's leading health and well-being coach. The world's leading. How do you? I mean, is there like a league that he has to regularly compete in and?
Yeah.
Assert dominance.
They'll go down there and then they'll shout at people that are not motivated.
Yeah, there's a bare knuckle brawl. And
they're just fighting that.
You're the world's leading resource.
Mr. Motivator has got like 40 kills.
Ian Motivator is absolutely killing it down there on the circuit.
Gunning people down. Fucking anyone who says I'm not the best health and well-being coach can suck it.
Can suck my... Right, okay, let's move on. Let's finish the show, shall we?
Yes.
We should probably finish the show.
Yeah. That's all the questions, by the way. That's
Matt.
Yes. So streaming Thursday night, Sean is streaming Nuzlocke, Stock, and 2 Slow King Barbaracles. That's correct, isn't it, Sean?
Yeah, it is.
That's his Thursday at 9. Friday for 9, James is continuing his House of Ashes stream. He started out on Friday. He'll be back for that for sure. They're both on twitch.tv/TCGSco. If you have Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime Gaming. Link your 2 accounts. Go over to our channel. We massively appreciate the free sub. On the Dark Horse tip, this Friday, Dark Horse 35. We're like 3 or 4 episodes away from the end now. This week, James is within touching distance. And he's on Seath the Scaleless. In other news, if you're on the Epic Game Store, whether that's either on the one on the PC or on console, if you enter the creator code TCGS, we get a small kickback if you're buying V-Bucks or Rocket League points or any game on a PC.
Money.
Patreon.com/TCGS is obviously our Patreon. This Saturday, we're doing a talk server, Saturday at 9. If you're £8.50 and above Patreon, you'll get an email in the week telling you where you can watch it live. And there's also podcasts on there. Just go to patreon.com/TCGS and you can see what we got. And the website is tcgs.co for everything else. Our social channels, our podcasts, what we're doing. TCGS Con is obviously currently sold out, but we're working to get more tickets. And I think that's it.
That is it. Thank you so much for living it. We will
Next week we have a guest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We will. Have you announced who it is?
No, that's what we do now.
Okay, go on then.
So next week, Sean LeBode comes back to the show. Very excited to have Sean back on.
Same.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Sean
Are we going to have 2
LeBode.
Seans on next week? We'll find out.
We don't
in
know
the
which
next
Sean is
thrilling
on.
episode.
Yeah, I mean,
Sean LeBode's definitely on.
And I might die. So...
No, that's my role, Sean. Don't you dare die before me.
Ain't no one dying.
Upstaging you.
We'll catch you
fucking
next week.
Dying first. How rude.
God, what if we do now? There's well morbid end to the show.
That'd be mental, wouldn't it? Like, actually, no, Matty is actually dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No, it's all right. They're doing a bit. They joked about it last week. It'll be back next week.
That's why it'd be brilliant. Think about it a lot, actually.
Modern Tommy Cooper.
Thanks for living it. We'll catch you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Goodbye. Love you. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely week.